Well, happy Tuesday to everybody. Hello, hello. Oh my god, stream schedule's intact. What? What's going on? Hello. Sorry for the late start. Schedule's a little up in the air. We may have streamed some Apex with the new update coming out, but I couldn't get a squad together. I didn't want to play it solo. So we will instead be learning how to speedrun Subnautica. Or at least trying to. I have a video tutorial from a year ago, well, almost 2 years ago at this point, June 2021, as well as the text guide to try to get through it. But if you know Subnautica runs, they are very notorious for their RNG and like resetting. But I'm hoping just getting into the run and kind of like having it as a fun run to do and not caring too much about the time, at least not initially, that it won't be too bad. Potentially, if it is as bad, even for like casual runs here and there, we may not continue it, but I at least want to give it a try, you know? We got a week until Atomic Heart comes out. Dishonored, Amnesia, and all that stuff's been going pretty well, so we'll see. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Singles Awareness Day, whatever you want to call it. I thought I had something else to say, but I think it's stuff offline once again. If you missed any of the PBs from last week, or over the weekend rather, they are up on YouTube. The Amnesia Justine, Amnesia Dark Descent, Dishonored, those PBs are there. But yeah, you know. I don't know if I'll learn the entire thing tonight. This guide's only 2 hours, and I usually like to do tutorials and steps, so like watch 10 minutes, do 10 minutes of run, watch another 10 minutes, do 10 minutes of runs. So it's possible we'll get like a full learning experience tonight, and then can hit it hard. I think so. This is a very long 31 pages of text. Sheesh. Alright, well if I have any questions about the video, and I do have it down patched, so we don't have to worry about that. It's a pretty easy thing to do. Alright, let me get the game up and then I'll capture this tutorial and we can do a little watch along. Is your moon crash notes? Yeah. I mean, my moon crash notes are significantly less than this. I should probably put those out at some point. It would be smart. Okay. Let's see. Steam. Where did I put this? Blah, blah, blah. I hate how every time I launch a game with Steam, it brings up the launch options. It's like, do you want to launch this in Steam VR mode? Like, no. I've never wanted to do that, Steam. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. For every game I click on. Okay. Capture that. I'm assuming, oh jeez, I can do borderless full screen. It's also really loud. Can do 1440. Okay. I don't know if I'm in game, if the problem will even, oh my god. I mean, yes, but you have to set it for every game. Unless there's like a master toggle. Field of view. Fucking 60, what the fuck? Okay, I know the tutorial because I clicked on it to see if it was good. And it goes over some setting stuff, so I wanna not change too much here. Alright, yeah, if I'm only playing a handful of games, it wouldn't be a problem, but I've launched like 10 games in the past like 5 days. I don't want to deal with this every time. Oh god. Oh god. Forgot how much of a bop the main track is. being a gamer, I know it's gross. Not live split, although I do need to change. My live split stuff. A little crop job in there. Okay, that looks good. Alright, let me deal with live split real quick. Edit splits. Game name. Subnautica. Any percent. Activate the auto splitter. Split on gun deactivation. I'm just gonna leave the things already checked. Cool. Delete the times. Delete the names. Does Speedruns.com have like sample splits? I don't know if there's no, it doesn't come. We'll just have to make some then. That's fine. 2 games at the same time. Oh my god. Alright, and save splits as Subnautica. Don't override my Dishonored splits. I would cry. Okay, okay. I might just need to turn down the volume altogether while we watch this. If it doesn't lose that on focus. Okay.
The general settings are all, that's totally up to you. I suggest turning up the field of view a bit from the standard 60. I have it at 70. That's just nice. Graphics, you can have it as you like. I highly recommend turning off bloom, as bloom makes it a bit harder to see in the lava zone, as well as make sure to have color grading turned off. Okay. Color grading really, if you have color grading on, it might look nicer, but it makes it really hard to see at night. So that's a no-no here. The next,
yeah, I also, yeah, like I said, we have this up if we have any questions on stuff to do. Like, it's fucking so detailed. Like, there's like map spawns of where stuff is, where to find resources and whatnot. Like, this is what your inventory should look like. It's fucking sheesh. It's cool. Because as someone who's learned a lot of speedruns in their time, sometimes you start running a game and the tutorial's 4 years out of date and there's nothing like this at all. So you're just like fucked. It's just like, all right, better hope someone can answer your questions. And a lot of times they come back with, you just have to get a feel for it. And that sucks.
next important thing is
Shout outs to whoever put this together. Somebody, whoever made this, thank you.
keyboard.
Like, have fun, thank you.
We have left
Love this game, yeah, that's great.
secondary bound to scroll wheel down or scroll wheel up. That's totally up to you. I prefer scroll wheel down. And right hand used to scroll wheel up. Cycle next and cycle previous have, of course, to be unbound from the scroll wheel. So just any other key.
Okay, let me set my keybinds anyways. So we're gonna have to do some shenanigans. So turn the music back on once we actually get into stuff. Alright, so cycle, I'll put it on down. Try, I might flip those two. How do you unbind? Oop. Okay, they're just gonna be on delete now. Sure. Exit holster there. Deconstruct. Put that on my mouse because I think deconstruct's pretty important. Whoa, you made this game. That's crazy. Put alternate use on that button. Okay. Think we're good there. Graphics. Bloom off. Oh, that automatically turned. Oh, I thought it turned color grading off. That's off. Sweet. Sure. Back to the tutorial.
Well, but make sure you can still use them. So I have them at left bracket, right bracket.
Okay. Make sure you can still use them. I might need to change blinds then. I'll think about it.
Take picture. I have a middle mouse button, but that is irrelevant in this in this category.
Is that used for a different category?
So
like all pictures or something?
Now is spawn resetting. So, or spawn locations. So no, first. The first thing you want to do is, if you record your run to be able to submit it, you need to show the game mode selection screen and show that you click on survival. Because you could do freedom. Freedom will make you not use hunger or thirst. Otherwise, it's exactly the same, but for any percent, freedom is not permitted. So this has always has to be at the start of your speedrun to show which game mode you are using. So I'm just going to click on survival, and then we have a loading screen, which is at
Is the volume good for you guys?
15 seconds, I think.
No one said anything, so I'm assuming it's good.
18 to 25 seconds, I'd say. Oh no, 18
Good,
seconds is on.
Yo, just what's up?
Yeah. No, this. Oh no! Wow. Okay, it was 18 seconds. So, right here at this screen, when we press a button here, a cutscene will start. On this screen now we normally have our timer, which starts at -1 seconds. We can press and hold down escape to skip this entire cutscene, which takes approximately a second. So I will press and hold down escape as well as click my button to start the timer normally. That will, start the timer and skip directly into the live pod. So when I press and hold down escape, I would normally also start my timer. So pressing and holding down escape,
Whoa.
which makes us go directly into the live pod.
Fancy.
So when we are here in the live pod, the first thing we want to do is move towards this medical kit fabricator. You scroll wheel down to open this and pick up the med kit and exit the live pod. We earlier bound scroll wheel to left click, so each scroll counts as multiple inputs of any action. Like if I scroll down once, so if I scroll down once,
You waited for the game to stop talking.
basically
Adorable.
I'm clicking multiple times. Same goes for scroll wheel up. Also, what I did just there was hide the oxygen mask, which you do by pressing F6.
Okay.
If you press it again, then just the mask, but without the HUD, then nothing, then nothing, then everything back, and then I press F6 once, and the mask is gone. You cannot press F1, F3, F8, because F1 will give you a debug menu.
Oh yeah?
F3 will give you another debug menu, and F8 as well. So you cannot use those three keys during speedrun. Pressing one of those keys will instantly make a speedrun invalid. So you have to be aware of that. So, spawn locations. You can spawn basically anywhere in the safe shallows. Well, not technically not anywhere, but there is a very large area in the safe shallows where you can spawn. And of course, some spawns are good, some spawns are bad. This actually is a really good spawn and is very close to my absolute favorite spawn. My absolute favorite spawn is right in front of this coral tube here. That would be my personal favorite. So, how to identify basically anything here? Landmarks. So, the main landmarks, which are always the same, is of course
ship,
you have
yeah.
the Aurora. The Aurora is the big crashed ship. always there. Then you have two clouds you can use to navigate, which is this cloud and this cloud.
Yeah, the islands.
In the back of the Aurora. You could also look through them, look at them through your PDA, and these clouds will glow.
Oh.
You might notice no other clouds will glow, as it's just those two clouds. These two clouds conceal the two islands. This cloud conceals the mountain island, and this cloud conceals the floating island. We use those for navigation a lot, as well as the Aurora. And two of my personal navigation tips is you can use this coral tube, which is looking out of the water, as well. There is a second one, but I generally say these coral tubes which are facing out of the water are close to the big coral tubes. There are 3 big coral tubes, but we only care about this one. This with the open area in front of it, and behind there is it's open as well. So generally,
So we'll spend some more time watching before I hop into it, like just kind of get a decent idea of what I need to get off the start, and then we'll create the file, see where I spawn, and go from there. It is a long video, so we'll take it in chunks, just waiting for a good spot to be like, okay, I want to learn up to this.
I say good spawns, bad spawns. Good spawns are if
spawns aren't going to be something I really care about
the thrusters of the
for a
Aurora
while.
by a lot, then it's a really bad spawn. If you are in front of the Aurora a lot, it's a bad spawn as well. Generally, you want to be in this area where these pillars are. This hole in the ground here. This is a good spawn. This coral tube, in the vicinity of this coral tube, basically you want your life pod to be ideally as close to this, to the opening of this coral tube here as possible. That would be the ideal. But generally in this area here, it's a good spawn. So close to this coral tube, close to these pillars here, to this cave entrance here. Here, that's good. So, but also we have a video which talks about spawn locations.
I'll probably wait to play until you do us like through the first collection cycle.
I will link that video in the description below for you to check out to learn what good spawn locations are, what bad spawn locations are, and how to identify them basically. So there is a lot of RNG in this run. Like a lot, depending on fragments and resource distribution. As this is a tutorial and I don't want this run to die 100 times, I will load up a save file. You cannot do that in a speedrun. You have to start at the game mode selection screen and start the game from there.
Wow.
I will load that.
Do they not have like a seeded run file category? I feel like this would be a really decent game for like a shared save file across the board. Oh, I guess they don't. That's kind of surprising. I feel like they'd have a seeded run kind of thing.
Able to be sure to always have the fragments I need. So I will do that. I will quit the game.
Maybe it just like get a seed, and if it's good, you keep it and keep running that. If it's bad, then you just re-roll it, sort of thing. I click play again. Okay, I did. Well, a seeded file means you just use the same save file to start the game every time instead of a new file, which re-rolls everything. That's what I'm saying. Record is sub 30. I watched it not too long ago. It's like a 29 something. But if like all of the RNG is determined on the save file creation, record is 29:23. Only 2 people have a sub 30.
So again, this is not allowed in a normal speedrun. You cannot load a save file. But the first thing I'm going to do is when I'm here, I'm going to grab the medkit and exit the life pod. Through the bottom hatch. We never go through the top exit. So I'm here at the geyser. This is a decent spawn. It's not a fantastic spawn, but it isn't a bad spawn either. These are the pillars I was talking about. This is the low ceiling cave, which we call it sometimes. This is a geyser. Over there is our coral tube. So first thing I want to do, I exit the life pod and I swim down to grab some resources. I want 6 mushrooms. I should have 6 mushrooms and 2 limestone. When you scroll, you click multiple times, which basically lets you instantly break a rock and pick up the item inside. The first 2
It is really funny that he waits for the game to like talk before he'll talk over it. It's kind of adorable.
The first 2 limestone you break will always give you 1 copper and 1 titanium, which is exactly what you need for a scanner. There is a thing called resource buckets in this game. Basically, all resources in this game have a resource bucket. Like, for example, limestone has a resource bucket of copper and titanium.
Okay, so loot tables.
Every 2 limestone will give you 1 copper and 1 titanium. Not necessarily in that order. It can be 1 titanium, 1 copper, but every 2 limestone you get those 2 resources. Like the first one I break is either copper or a titanium. The second one will be the other one. The third one I break can again be a copper or a titanium. That's random, and the fourth one will be the other one.
Okay,
the
interesting.
Third one was a copper, the fourth one will be a titanium.
So if you break 2, you're guaranteed to have 1 of each. If you break 4, you're guaranteed to have 2 of each, but the first and third are randomized. That's interesting. Something I didn't know about this game. Yo, Blair. All right, well, let's make a file and grab the 6 mushrooms and the titanium, I think is what we want. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, no, okay, that was weird. I'm put these on left, right arrow. So make them accessible. I don't know if it's really gonna matter. We learning. Oh, I turned off the audio. Right. I'm surprised he just didn't turn off the voice volume for the thing, since he doesn't want to talk over it. I'm gonna turn off the music for a moment because I think I remember it might have been below 0, or the music got claimed for now. I'll leave that on. The old ones are good too? No. Old games suck. No musics. Okay, so the timer does auto start. That's been updated since the tutorial. The auto splitter does indeed work there. Okay, I gotta do a sensitivity. The mouse does not leave the window. That's cool. Oh, this game looks a lot better than I thought it did. Okay. So we want 6 mushrooms. And 2 limestones. Oh, here's the thing. So pillar. I kind of want to be in the area he was at. I think it's over here. So just learning where all the things are, it's going to be important, but stuff all, yeah. As long as I know what I'm looking for, I can learn spawns and shit. Okay. Yeah, peaceful for sure. Super peaceful. Well, I think down patching only saves like 40 seconds or something. Oh, battery, no. Back to the VOD. Back to the VOD. No, I'm down patched, but I think, you know, if I really cared about performance, I could play on new one and not lose too much.
Same goes for Sandstone, but Sandstone does not have a resource bucket of 2. It has a resource bucket of 8.
Oh.
And those 8, so every 8 Sandstone will guarantee to have 3 silver, 2 gold, and 3 lead. But I will explain that later again. So once we got that,
I might have to take some notes on the side just to
mushrooms. We want to go back into the life pod and start crafting. So if you hold down the sprint key, by default it's the shift key, you will keep this menu open while you craft. So first thing I want to do is craft a battery, and as you noticed, keep this menu open while you craft. So first thing I want to do is craft a battery, and as you noticed, this menu did not close. And second thing I want to craft is a scanner.
No, I didn't watch this. I watched the record some time ago, but I didn't watch the Tomatoes video.
Life pod again.
Alright, so we get the scanner.
Down the PDA lady.
Oh, there he goes. Yeah. Turn it off.
So, now the first thing we want to do is to grab a sea glide. Where do we get a sea glide from? Sea glides fragments can spawn anywhere in the safe shallows, but it's just more likely to wreck. And we have a very specific wreck which we go to, which is right behind there. If you spawn anywhere in the safe shallows, basically a good tip is look at the aurora, look left, there is this cloud. Again, this is the cloud which is glowing. And you want to head towards that cloud. You want to head, this is the geyser, which we are going to go to later on, and behind that geyser is a wreck. We want to go there. Swimming on top of the water without a sea glide is faster than swimming under the water, so we...
I mean, yeah, I have like this thing open that shows all the stuff too. I might watch this like after stream at some point,
basically,
but...
when we don't have the sea glide, we want to swim above water as much as possible.
This is also done with like time being of the essence, whereas like this is a 2-hour VOD that will cover every little thing possible and a 31-page document that, you know.
So when we're here, we want to scan 2 sea glide fragments. There are multiple boxes here. There are these large boxes and there are these small box. No, this is a small box as well. Oops.
I was gonna say it looks exactly the same.
Boxes, which are very clean.
It looks the same.
They don't have any burn marks, anything, no dents, whatever. And importantly, they are submerged in the sand. If a box is submerged in the sand, it can never have any fragments. Here we have sea glide boxes more than enough, and we want to scan 2 of those.
He's gonna die. Oh my god, he's dead. He's dead.
So next thing we want to do is turn around and look at this ridge here. We have this coral tube here, the geyser, and we want to swim across here.
Okay.
Ideally above water because it's faster. Then we come to the kelp forest here. And we want to swim towards this plant here and grab 2 fruits.
Okay.
And then we keep swimming forward and then towards this coral tube here. We want to swim above water again, preferably because it's faster. Then we swim right up to that entrance here. And make sure we have full oxygen. Next thing is a thing that you might have to practice a bit to make in one go.
Oh god.
Because oxygen will be close. And then you swim down and go through and swim up to resources in this coral tube and grab basically everything. If you miss 1 or 2 resources, it's not that big of a deal, but you try to get everything. Again, using the scroll wheel for the for the outcrops to break them faster. You can of course use the scroll wheel on quartz as well. You want to basically go in a helix-like motion, like basically like this, to grab all the items in a smooth fashion and try to grab everything which is there.
It's gonna die.
So oxygen is pretty interesting in this game. You don't die at 0 oxygen, you die at -8 oxygen. So you have 8 seconds more of oxygen than it shows. Even if your screen turns totally black like it just did for me, that's no big deal. So I'll just grab that, and then we want to head back to the life pod. Again, swimming on top of the water because it is faster. Yeah, so basically oxygen is not as bad as it looks. Like 45 seconds of oxygen, in reality we have 45 plus 8 seconds of oxygen.
Okay, let's do loot path 2. Where's this thing? Okay, fabricator. Get the old scanner. Okay. And then directions gonna take me a while to get used to, so we want to go this way. Okay, this is where we come back to. That's the tube. I guess, like, you could do it in reverse. It doesn't really matter, but it's... Like, that's one of the things you'd have to figure out based on your spawn. Like, it would have been faster for me to do the tube and then grab the vines and then come over here for the wreckage. Yo, what's up, buddy? One's submerged. What is my scan button? Oh. No, it's self-scan. Wait, what? Oh, right click, right click. I don't like that. I don't like right clicking. Did I get fucked on sea glide fragments? Don't tell me my first seed's fucking this bad. Time to re-roll already? Beginner screws, yeah, apparently. I can check the document. Let's see. Oh, maybe down here. Aha! Figured it out. Cracked the code. Alright, cool. I don't know if it matters if you have the thing out or not. Oh, what is the F6 to get rid of the HUD? Cool. The breaking of the rocks is so satisfying in this game. Like, it really is. Just the sound of it. I missed one. I'm not gonna make it. Did I even pick that up? I did not pick it up. My PNG. Oh, God. I feel like I got kind of fucked on limestone here. Pick that up. Some of those things, like, I don't know exactly what I need. You're doing supportive. Alright, let me grab this. Go back. See if I got enough.
So then we enter the live pod again, and we craft a few things. Again, holding down the sprint key to keep the menu open. The first thing we want to do is craft 1 silicone rubber, or technically 2. Then 1 lubricant, 1 copper wire, 1 battery, a knife, an O2 tank, and a sea glide.
Oh boy. Do I have enough for this? I feel like I don't. Like I don't have the titanium for this. Copper wire. A knife, right? Oh, battery. Battery. Knife, tank, and sea glide, right? Yeah, okay. I did get fucked on limestone. You're not titanium. Oh boy. Okay. Could have picked up that metal scrap had I known I was low. Cool. Back to the video.
Next, we put everything we have in this locker here. Well, every resource we have.
Okay.
And then we count how much quartz we have. We have 9 quartz right now. So keep that number in mind, 9. I will turn the PDA lady off because she's really annoying.
No.
We have 9 quartz. We keep that number in mind. So next thing we want to do is a little glitch called ghost storage, which is when you open the locker, there is a slight delay between now it opens and now it opens the PDA. We can use that to our advantage when we click and instantly leave, which will give us a glitch called ghost storage. You might have to practice that a few times. So now when I open
yes,
PDA,
I have.
I'm not
Used to watch Salvener quite a bit.
as you know. I open up my PDA and I have access to this locker. I can put stuff in, take stuff out. Now I close it again. Now when I open it up again, I'm in my inventory. So that's a glitch we call ghost storage. So we want to activate ghost storage. Again, click and leave. You also hear that slight click when it works. And now we have a sea glide and we want to, again, here is the Aurora. Oop.
Oh god.
Normally you are not this far this direction. Normally you are way in front of the coral tube here. So if you swim at 0 meters, you will fill up your oxygen again, even if you don't leave the water, which is pretty fantastic. So first thing we want to do,
It's gonna be very hard to follow.
in front of this coral tube here, where we have this hole here. We want to fill up our oxygen, because oxygen is nice, and then we want to swim into this entrance here. We have 9 quartz. We have 10, we want 20 quartz. 11.
Oh Jesus.
Then we grab these 3, which are always here. 12. Grab every limestone we can. 13, 14, Just swim away from those crash fish and make sure when they explode you're not over mushrooms, because if they explode and damage the mushrooms, this will kill you. Mushrooms deal a heck ton of damage.
A heck ton.
I think we are at 12 quartz, 13 quartz. Then we want to swim out of here and up to here. Here we want to grab 3 of those with our knife. 1, 2, 3. Go up for
I'm gonna get so
again.
lost here.
13. Any limestone? No. 15. Swim through here. Grab those 3. $16. There are 2 exits. There is this exit and this exit. We swim to the left.
So not the right.
17, 18, 19. I will make it day via commands so you can see better.
Oh, thank God.
Night is really dark. We have 19 quartz. We want 20, but 19 is fine as well. And as I talked earlier, if our let's say our inventory is full now, and we need to pick more stuff up, but we can't. So let's open up ghost storage again by basically opening up the inventory, and then just dump some stuff until your inventory is
Also, it's 21. Yeah, you miscounted his quartz.
less full. So now you can see we have 2 gold and 2 silver. We need those 2 gold, 2 silver for now. Later on we need all 3 silver. So it might be the case, because we only picked up 6 silver and we 6 sandstone, and the sandstone cycle is 8. It might be the case, if you're unfortunate, that you only have 1 gold or no gold at all, and you need 2 gold. So we need to pick up all 8 of them, all 8 sandstone eventually. That's totally fine. So in the case if you don't have 2 gold, or I always do it, you need to pick up more resources. So there are 2 ways where you can get more sandstone from. When you exit this hole here, look at the coral tube, look that way. There is a hole in the ground, and you can get 1 here and 1 here. Those are always guaranteed. And there are some quartz here as well, which we also need in this case. We need 20 quartz. In case you're not here at this spawn, which we technically are not. So we now are guaranteed to have 3 silver, 3 lead and 2 gold, because we have the full cycle completed. If you don't want to go over there, which is normally better to go here. Hey cows. Normally you go here. There are these towers here. There are these formations here, and this one has 2 holes. You go into the left hole here, and here are 2 sandstone. You normally grab those. But we only want 6 sandstone for now. 8 sandstone for now. It is very important to keep track of how much sandstone you got. So you don't want to grab any wild sandstone you've run across here. Make sure to not grab any more sandstone.
Okay, let's go get lost for a little bit. Sure, I'll save. Why not? Okay. So we're gonna go... how do you turn... There we go. How do you get just the flashlight part? Can you skip the flashlight part? So tube... on the front side of the tube? I've already forgotten. Notepad? Yeah, I might have to get one. Looking for the small hole. Okay, I might have to backtrack in the VOD. I forgot where you went at the beginning to start it off. It's nighttime.
It's not that big. Just grab oxygen. You can not ghost storage.
Oh, I need to go storage anyways. I need to go back.
I'm not in the locker stuff out.
Yep.
Now I close it again. Now I will go stop and leave. You also hear that slight click when it works. And now we have a sea glide, and we want to again. Here is the aurora. Oop. Normally you are not this far this direction. Normally you are way in front of the coral tube here. So if you swim at 0 meters, you will fill up your oxygen again, even if you don't leave the water, which is fantastic. So first thing we want to do, we want to swim in front of this coral tube here, where we have this.
Oh, it's right there. Okay. Yeah, it's right there. I need to go back. Oh, you scroll up. Okay. So everything except for that stuff. I have 11? No, is that math? Yeah, it's 11, right? 11 quarts? Yeah. I don't know why I can't math. Alright, we got 11. Cool. I want to make sure. Okay, coral tube. Here, so we want to go right here. Full breath. Hoping food doesn't really come into play. Oh, that. Oh, okay. 12. Oop, that's an egg. I don't want that. Oh shit, I'm stupid. I'm so stupid.
In the local cave systems, sulfur is an essential component of the repair tool.
I immediately opened up my inventory. Oh wow, quitting the menu and back end takes forever. Interesting. Okay. I don't know if I need this or not. Even in caves where like there shouldn't be any light, it's still like so much easier to see during the daytime. Goes up. Boop. 13, 14.
Sulfur is an essential component of the repair tool.
15. 16. Okay, here we go. This is not where we go to get this, but let's go and get 3 of these. Get 3 of these. Eat something. No, never. Is it over here? Yeah, I mean during the nighttime it's hard to fucking see where he goes.
Hole here. and think we have 12 quartz, 13 quartz. Then we want to swim out of here and up to here. Here we want to grab...
What the fuck is that? Oh, it's here. Okay, here. Yeah. Whoops. I've already lost count of my quartz. Like 18. But he just stops there for the
3 of those with our knife. 1, 2, 3. Go up for oxygen again. I'm at 13. Any limestone? No. 15. Swim through here.
Oh, I got through the thing. Okay.
Grab those.
Grab those. Okay. Aha! This is why we do things in steps. Alright, I gotta make sure when I'm doing this to actually pick the stuff up. Come back then. Is this underwater? Subnautica underwater? Nah, couldn't be. Couldn't be. We want to go this way.
Detecting increased local radiation levels. Trend is consistent with damage to the Aurora's drive core sustained during planet fall.
Alright, and then where does he go for the...
$16. There are 2 exits. There is this exit and this exit. We swam to the left.
Oh, did I go through the wrong way?
17, 18,
Oh yeah, I definitely went the wrong way.
19. I will make it day via commands so you can see better, because night is really dark. We have 19 quartz. We want 20, but 19 is fine as well. So if...
Okay, let me at least get to where he is so I know where to get the extra things. I think. Stuff anyways. Oh wait, did I go the right way? Oh no, you just come up here, I see. I should see, yeah, that's there, okay. Well, I think I have enough of that. We got the gold, we got the silver, okay. Where are the things he finds here?
If our, let's say our inventory is full now, and we need to pick more stuff up, but we can't. So let's open up ghost storage again, by basically opening up the inventory, and then just dump some stuff until your inventory is less full. So now you can see we have 2 gold and 2 silver. We need those 2 gold, 2 silver for now. Later on we need all 3 silver. So it might be the case because we only picked up 6 silver and we 6 sandstone, and the sandstone cycle is 8. It might be the case if you're unfortunate that you only have 1 gold or no gold at all. And you need 2 gold. So we need to pick up all 8 of them, all 8 sandstone eventually. That's totally fine. So in the case if you don't have 2 gold, or I always do it.
So the tube's
you need
there.
to pick up more resources. So there are 2 ways where you can get more sandstone from. When you exit this hole here, look at the coral tube, look that way. There is a hole in the ground. And you can get 1 here and 1 here. Those are always guaranteed.
Okay, I'll just grab those 2 then. Okay, so there we go this way. Down the hole. In here. Oop. Ouchies. My life, I'm dead. Ah! I think we just go back to base from here. And we'll watch the video. Back to the video.
And there are some quartz here as well, which we also need in this case. We need 20 quartz. In case you're not here at this spawn, which we technically are not. So we now are guaranteed to have 3 silver, 3 lead and 2 gold because we have the full cycle completed. If you don't want to go over there, which is normally better to go here. Hey, cow.
Yeah, I'll just go to the other one because it's like right there along the path. Easy to find.
There are these towers here. There are these formations here, and this one has 2 holes. You go into the left hole here, and here are 2 sandstone. You normally grab those.
2 holes on
But
Valentine's
we
Day?
want
Wow.
6 sandstone for now. 8 sandstone for now. It is very important to keep track of how much sandstone you got. So you don't want to grab any wild sandstone you've run across here.
Wow, 2.
Make sure to not grab any more sandstone.
It's 2 hole Tuesday.
So now we go into a life pod again. We want to craft some stuff. First a copper wire. Then a battery. Then a computer chip, and then a wiring kit. And with that we craft ourselves a habitat builder.
Yeah, that's why you need all the quartz to build the
So,
thing. Okay. Let me craft some shit. Copper wire. Battery. A wiring kit. It's nice that you can navigate the menu while it's doing it. Alright, habitat builder.
The builder tool is designed to construct habitats capable of withstanding.
Yeah, I think at this point you really see like some titanium and like a lot of quartz. This is also where the run goes from like RNG to like fucking doing some crazy shit. Well, there's still RNG, but
we want some more titanium. Also, we want to craft ourselves some glass. We want 4 glass for now.
4 glass,
4
okay.
glass.
Yes, and then there's like a tooth that you get later on, or a couple teeth. I know it's like the big RNG pain point of the run. It's like the stalker teeth. Which you need for enameled glass, I think.
And as I said, we need more titanium, so I am going out here and look for some metal. We are luckily next to a kelp forest. Kelp forest has a lot of metal as it is. And let's grab a third. And back to the life pod. And convert that into metal. Sometimes you might run out of power here, but it should be enough to craft all of that. So now you want to grab some metal, all your glass, at least 1 copper, and I like to grab a lot of quartz. Now your inventory is full, but there's still stuff in the locker here, so we do ghost storage again and leave.
Okay.
Then you look at the Aurora.
Right. Yeah, I know it's like kind of important where you build stuff. So I want to do all of this before. Let's see.
Calorie intake recommended.
We need the glass. Oh, I didn't leave it open. And I don't think I have a lot of titanium, so I'll probably need to go and grab that. Did I make... Oh, no, I need to make one more. Yeah, I have a lot of that. I don't have a lot of titanium. Okay.
New creature
Oh.
discovered.
Get this peeper out of my... Well, I'll consume...
Vital signs stabilizing.
Sure. I wish I had that day command to just... so I could learn where the fuck I'm going. I just type day somewhere. I don't know if I want to be showing off that info. It's leaked everything. Where the fuck am I, dude? I think this way for titanium. You seem to have more titanium than I did, so I'm gonna grab a 4th thing. If I can. Okay. I have a lot of quartz. You know what? Fuck it. Like at the moment, I don't mind grabbing more than I actually need, so I can always drop it. I just want to learn what I actually need to have. Okay, I could probably... I may have been too much. Seeing the guide thing, what it says. Spawner plus scanner, ghost storage, actual route for this section, Seekla plus sandstone loop 1. Okay. You need 8 titanium, 1 table coral, 1 gold, 7 quartz, and 2 copper. Okay. I don't know if I have that gold in my inventory or not. Oh, do I? Okay. Yeah, I think we're good then. Let's do a save. And then check the video. We are 27 or 28 minutes into a 2-hour VOD. We're getting there.
And
we're learning.
Around and build a base at the Aurora. And turn around and build a base. Our base will look at the Aurora, which is that way, of course, and should be very close to the life pod ideally. Then we build a hatch.
Okay.
And a solar panel. So we are... Ugh. So you want to build a solar panel while it is still day. We have not been so lucky. So now... Oh, okay, it's just...
Yeah, getting lost is going to be a very big thing, at least initially. Like I feel like I'm pretty good like figuring out my surroundings and stuff in a game like this, but I also haven't played the original Subnautica in a very long time, so let me take a little bit.
The solar eclipse, that's good. So, yeah, if you build this base after night started, it will suck because well, the base won't generate any power. So now we build one compartment with a hatch and a solar panel. Now we want to build 2 glass compartments.
Okay.
2 metal compartments.
I feel like this is not what
The
record I saw before does. Like more recent runs do something different here, but
and all we want to do here now is to get our hull strength below 0. No pun intended. Then we enter the base here and build a fabricator. I know we are at hull strength of 1.5, which is not under 0, obviously. And then we want to build a fabricator here and craft 2 more glass. We craft the glass here, not upstairs, because sometimes upstairs we don't have enough power for that. And then we craft 2 windows and build those windows here. Now we have a hull strength of minus 0.5, which is enough to flood the base. Then we want to craft 2 lockers. We want to build a locker here. Make sure that it is still in this compartment here. And I just voided ghost storage, which is fantastic. I accidentally clicked on here. And then I build a second locker here. Be aware that here has to be enough space for a second fabricator. Normally you would open ghost storage now and grab all the other resources in the lifepod locker, but because my game said nope, I have to go up and grab all of that. By the way, I'm transferring items this fast by using the scroll wheel up. And then I'm just going to put everything in here. I'm going to eat some food, drink some water.
okay, let's build. Let's build a little bit. So look at that. Turn around. Okay, right click to activate that. We want a compartment. Right click? Oh, wait, what? How does one build? Oh, this only works with scroll wheel. What? Why does this only work with scroll wheel at the moment? That seems like a problem. Oh, this got changed. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. I see. Okay, hatch. Then we want a solar panel. He's laughing at me. Okay. So then we want glass. Whoop.
Power restored. All primary systems online.
There's 2 metal, right? Hold on, double check this here.
One rank here. 2 metal compartments.
That's what I thought, okay. And then the thing on top.
A vertical connector. And all we want to do here now is to get our...
Yeah. Alright. Oh, do I not have enough titanium? Ah, shit. Let's go and consume all that shit, I guess. I mean, I guess I can just do all that. Okay. Now we go inside.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Fabricator. And then 2 more things of glass. And then storage. Oh, I need the windows. And then all that. I'm not actually getting ghost storage. I think I'm switching too soon. Go back and launch the VOD at this point. Okay. Cool.
Hull strength below of crafted Minecraft here. I just voided the second fabricate. Lifepod locker, but because my game said nope, I have to go up and grab all of that. By the way, I'm transferring items this fast by using the scroll wheel up. And then I'm just going to put everything in here. I'm going to eat some food, drink some water. Yeah, if you need, if it is your first speedrun, you might need to cook some fish between in the meantime because it takes so long. Normally in a speedrun you are good with the 2 ration bars and the 2 water bottles. So now our base is
fish.
When we're in the base, we want to partially deconstruct and reconstruct the hatch again. Now we have activated a glitch which we call Super Sea Glide. Super Sea Glide puts a bunch of speeds together, and now we are way faster than normal. I'm going to make it day again so for us to see. So now we have Super Sea Glide. We are a lot faster. If you leave the water, you will lose Super Sea Glide. So we don't want that. So how do I get oxygen? Well, you can go up to 0 meters and not leave the water, and you will fill up your oxygen again. That is pretty great. So
that
now that we have Super Sea Glide, you can also do that whilst while the base is flooding. You want to go and grab 4 mushrooms and 10 table corals. 1, 2, 3. Also our aurora just exploded. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah. So
it's gonna be really hard not to
aurora exploded now because I did the day command twice. That just adds time. We need the aurora to not be exploded to do something. I will restore the aurora with a command later because well, we need it to not be exploded. But normally you have more than enough time to do that before the aurora explodes. So now we grabbed 4 mushrooms and 10 table corals. We want to grab 2 copper and craft 2 batteries. And put all the table coral and the batteries in here. Now we want to grab all the resources for the solar panel, which are 2 quartz, 2 titanium and a copper. And craft a second solar panel for us to have more power here.
Alright, take it in steps. Whoa, you got, oh my god, that is so much faster. Whoa, it didn't look that fast on video, but oh shit. That's crazy. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's so fucking fast. I guess maybe it's like the FOV difference. That is insane. Oh, I only grabbed 3 mushrooms. Oh shit. Ah shit. I'll never recover from this financially. So we put the batteries away. We need 2 quartz, 2 titanium, and a copper. Right? I think is what he said. Get some oxygen. Alright. And then we'll save. Going okay so far. We're learning.
So, first thing we want to do now is to grab some teeth. This is a very annoying part of this run, and it kills a lot of runs. So,
yeah, this is like the big RNG part.
Of course, are multiple kelp forests in this world. We want the kelp forest, which is behind this coral tube here. We want to go here, and now we need 4 teeth. How do we get 4 teeth? It is random. Well, it's not entirely random. So a dog, we call those dogs, has a 1 in 4 chance of dropping a tooth while picking up a metal. This piece of metal, which has this L shape, it's an L, it's very distinctive if you know how to look for it, will never drop a tooth. So we always want to pick that up and keep the dogs from picking up that metal. This metal here is a good metal. He picked that up, but it didn't drop a tooth. So we want to have ideally multiple dogs in one area, like preferably more than 2, and still no tooth. And every time they pick up a piece of metal, they have a 1 in 4 chance of dropping a tooth. That is bad metal. That was a bad metal. That is a good metal. That is a bad metal. I want to drop that good metal in the equation, please.
Okay, so the menu, they all look the same, so I figured it just...
Metal. Also make sure not to drown.
So I don't know how awful this is going to be for just like kind of getting into the run and learning.
It's a bad metal. How much bad metal is there? Holy crap. Like, that's not normal. So we have a first tooth here. We need 4 of them. 1, 2. This. In your inventory, all the bad and good metals look the same. But if you know when you pick them up, you can keep them in your inventory. So you don't want the dogs to picking up bad metals. Also, you might want to have the metal not on the ground but floating, because if the metal is on the ground, dogs might, if you're unlucky, another bad metal might drop a tooth and it falls through the map, which is really annoying.
Nice. The classic through the map.
I'm quickly going to empty my inventory here because this is all bad metal.
I don't know if you need to keep the metal at all.
Not a metal. This is a good metal. This is another good metal. Wow, those dogs are horrible today.
This tutorial's about 2 hours. It might be like 10 minutes
Makes a very distinctive
of tooth
sound
hunting.
if you're close to it. That is a bad metal, I told you earlier. Not good. Another tooth. And that is the sound I was waiting for.
Okay.
Third tooth, we need 4.
It was a pretty distinct
Here's the
sound.
4th tooth. So we have 4 teeth now. Now we want to slice this creep wine twice. We want 2 creep wine samples and 3 seeds. 3 and fill the rest of our inventory up with metal. So we only need 4 teeth. We want some
4 teeth,
metal
2 slashes, 3 vines.
So, and if you find any mobile vehicle base, make sure to scan them on the way while grabbing teeth. So after you have all your 4 teeth, you want to head back to your base. And first thing you do is convert the fiber mesh, the creepvine samples into fiber mesh, craft 1 silicone rubber and 2 lubricants, just to make some inventory space, because all of that does, all of these fruits do take a lot of inventory space. So put the teeth in here, put all of that in here, and put all of that in here for now. Also,
let's stop there. Okay, so we are looking. The one. I've already forgotten how I spawned in. This one. Yeah, we're looking here. You got any teeth? Any bad metal? I don't even see any metal. Is this the right one? I think it is. I think, yeah, it's the one by the thing. Where's the metal? Oh, there's some metal. Bad metal?
30 seconds.
Dude, the super sea glide speed is crazy. Good metal. Oh, is this where I came to pick up just metal in general before? Maybe that's why there's none over here. Oh, tooth. Tooth. We got a tooth.
New blueprint.
Some more metal. These both look good. Some mobile thing.
30 seconds.
I really did forget how nice this game actually looks. Okay, but I actually don't want the speed here. Yo, it's up with the 20 months. Sheesh. Oh, no tooth. Got 2 teeth. Halfway there. Oh, another tooth. One more. One more tooth. So we can go in, 2 of these.
New blueprint acquired.
3 of those. All right. Yeah, thank you for the 20 months. Much appreciate it. Acquired. We're real ack here. Real big acros. Oh, I thought there was a tooth. Nope. Ow. Oh, tooth. Okay. Oh, there's actually a fifth tooth there too. Yeah, I don't know how like awful it's gonna be. I'm actually just trying to get into the run. Like I know for record and stuff, it's super annoying, but just trying to learn it. It may not be that bad. Fiber mesh, silicone rubber. Is it 2 things of lubricant? Or 2 things of...
In here do take a lot of inventory.
Oh yeah, it's 2. Okay, 2 lubricant. Yes, it lets you do the super sea glide, so you could get super speed. I keep hitting escape to get out of the menu. Whoa! Holy shit. That is crazy. I love it. Oh. My inventory is fucking full. I have way too much quartz, I think.
Space. So put the teeth in here, put all of that in here, and put all of that in here for now.
Yeah, I might need a
Also,
drop.
every time you exit a hatch, every time you go through a hatch, you go through and this hatch is powered, you get some oxygen. Unless you're going into a flooded base, then you won't get some oxygen, but as we all know, the outside world is not a flooded base, it's a flooded planet, so that doesn't count. So you still get some oxygen. That's just a side tip. But again, going up to 0 meters to get some oxygen.
Okay, let me pull out my quartz, put everything else away. And I'll just like drop the quartz on the floor or some shit. I can't drop the quartz. Well, luckily I have a different locker. I don't know if it matters, but fucking go in there. Okay. Save. We got past the teeth grind.
And
I think this is where we can start like actually exploring the world.
If you want to take a med kit, that's fine. Life pods should have another med kit by now, which is...
Oh yeah, I should probably use my med kit.
Yep. Also, there is no shame in going to the creepvine forest and crafting a few med kits. That's no problem. So, first thing we want to do is grab some titanium, take off our O2 tank, and grab our silver, and deconstruct those 2 glass here. That's why we crafted windows, so we can deconstruct it from the inside. And then we want to craft our high capacity O2 tank.
Okay, we're gonna do some baby steps here. Alright, so deconstruct, locker, grab this thing, I got titanium. What did I need? Titanium. Oh, I need to make the titanium and then silver. No, okay, just learning the buttons is going to be difficult. Sheesh. That game. Alright, cool. We got the high capacity tank. Got another med kit.
And the next thing we want to do is grab a flare and count how much copper we have. We just have 1 copper. Also, I'm going to get some oxygen real quick. Also, I'm running low on battery, so I'm taking those 2 batteries here. And just... the important battery is the battery of the Sea Glide. So, we'll keep those 2 batteries here. And now my Sea Glide has full power again. So, next glitch we're going to use is called flare storage. It's basically ghost storage, but with larger lockers. So you activate it by having a flare in your hand, right-clicking with the flare and clicking on the locker. And now we have flare storage activated. It's basically the same as ghost storage, but well, with larger storage. I'm going to make it day again for you to be able to see. Yeah, I'm going to grab some oxygen again 0 meters. And then, again, I'm using this coral tube as navigation. If you follow this coral tube through, here is the geyser. Again, here's the Sea Glide rack where we got the Sea Glide from. Here is the geyser. While we are here at this geyser, we have 1 copper, that's it. We get some oxygen and then go down. We want to come out of the geyser and have 10 copper in total, so we have 2 copper.
Oh boy.
Titanium, 3 copper, 4 copper. Next one will give us a copper. 4? I don't know. I think it's 4.
You just already given up
5.
counting.
So, and then here are these pockets, which always have sandstone. Grab these 3, these 2, titanium, and these 3. 7, possibly 8, and now we count sandstone and copper. So 0 sandstone, 8 copper, 1, 8, 2, 8.
Oh boy.
2, 9, 3, 9, 10. So now we have 3, we have 4. Now we want to get 24 sandstone.
Oh Jesus Christ.
4 sandstone.
That just like took all enjoyment out of this run for me. I don't know if I can keep track of that during the thing. Oh god. We'll have to write down some fucking notes to remember all this.
Which is really nice to see. At night it doesn't. So 4. I'm going to get some oxygen again.
That's a lot of counting, yeah.
Don't leave the water, otherwise you will lose Super Sea Glide. 4.
So I'm not 100% committed to this run, so it's, you know, if we do a run and like the counting and stuff isn't super fun, I'm not enjoying it. We may not pursue it long term, but still give it a try. So I think once you get past like all of the resource gathering at the port, it looks really fun with like the clips out and swimming and running around and doing all that shit. But yeah, there might be more to this part than I thought.
So then we go towards towards
Where did he go?
oxygen again.
Okay, it goes back up.
Oop. Don't leave the water, otherwise you will lose Super Sea Glide. 4. So then we go towards towards this side, which with the open cave. 4 titanium, 4 sandstone, and then we just look for sandstone. 4, anything here? No. 5, 6, 7. Again, if you look at the top, there it's glowing. The sandstone is glowing. 8.
What?
Then you want to swim here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, then here, 14, 15, 16. Then you can get some oxygen here. These stingers will not hurt you while in Super Sea Glide. Also, crashfish will not know you are around, which is great.
Interesting.
So I think we're at 16. And we want to swim up here. 17. 18. Now we are full. So we are going to drop all of that. So I will make sure that I have everything. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 1, which is 10. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which are the 8 you get in the geyser. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, 17. I want to make sure I keep 2 titanium. 17, 18. 18. Oops, that's a mesmer, which is annoying, which is always there. 18. Then we want to swim out of here to look if there's anything here. 18, 19.
Oh boy.
20. You don't need to get 24 here. So
what?
20, which is fine. Then we swim up. And then again, here is the geyser. Here's the geyser. Then we want to swim in that direction. 20. You don't need to have 20 yet. It's totally fine. Then we swim here. Then it's this, here's this pillar. Get some oxygen. This pillar sometimes has sandstone, not always. 20. 21. Sometimes on top as well, not this time. Then we swim to this cave. 22, 23, 24, and now we just want 1 more gold. So no gold, no gold.
So you do 24, so you hit the
so then we
the 3.
here. If you don't have all the
and plus 1
all
gold.
the sandstone yet, then you exit this cave, swim to your left, and here is this wreck. This cave has some sandstone as well, but we are all good on sandstone. But if you need sandstone, you can gather sandstone here. So here is this wreck. Inside this wreck.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I gotta go back to the flare storage thing before I do anything. Okay. So I'm going to assume I have 1 copper. Yeah. I have potentially no copper. I have 0 copper. Put all this stuff in here now. Guess.
New creature discovered.
I wanted more water. Oh, yeah, you want bladderfish for water. Fucking fish.
New creature discovered. Alien life forms may have unexpected applications.
Yeah.
Utilizing alien resources is a proven survival strategy.
Okay. So let's go find the geyser. I don't think I have super sea glide. Just nope, I've gone too far. Or I've not gone far enough. Is this the... I think this is it? Okay. So I need all of the copper. I'm not getting oxygen. Oh, you gotta be real close. Oh my god, fuck off. Where's the regular rocks? We got 6 of those. One copper. Two copper. Three and 7. We titanium, right? Fucking.
Be advised, a common complication for cave divers is loss of orientation, followed by eventual
Game, shut up. I don't care. Oh, I didn't do the flare thing anyways. Okay. Well, I need to go back and probably do that. Not like super worried. And I already lost count. Yeah, trying to like keep count and everything while I'm trying to figure out where to go is gonna be fucking super difficult. Can't you like put a mark in the world? Oh, you can't just do a regular mark. Yeah, you have to craft a beacon. Yeah. How do you say to do it?
And we don't have go down. Geyser. Here is this or the same as ghost storage, but and flare in your hand, right clicking with the flare and clicking on the locker. And now we have flare storage activated. It's basically the same as ghost storage, but to be able to we have 4 with 4 stands 9, 10, 11.
I'm gonna be honest, this counting's kind of like ruining things for me at the moment. Like, it's fucking hard to keep track of where to go and how many things I've gotten. So we're at 7 copper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. 7 copper, 8 of those. I don't know if you can do it once it's lit. I can do that, which doesn't seem useful. We'll just come back and forth. Fuck it. Oop. And it's nighttime, which sucks for me. It's a big deal. I mean, it's not even like having nodes because I'm not going to alt tab to update it. I just like need a tracker. I need something like auto updates when I pick stuff up. No, I have no idea where this is anymore. This way, right? Is this it? Yeah, okay. 7 and 8. 7 and 8. 7 and 8. We need 3 more Kerper. I don't have super sea glad, so this stuff's gonna hurt, right? Yeah. Alright, 8. 8 and 9. Fuck. Okay, you want super sea glide active, then fuck off. Okay. 9. Already forgotten where to look. I've really forgotten where to look. Holy shit. Ow. Oh, I died. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this run now. Alright, I think 9 and 10? 9 copper, 10 sandstone? I think. Oh, I ran out of battery. Battery. Shit. 11. 12. 13. Yeah, I need to go back. Need the battery. How do I get out of here? Fuck off. I just think it goes so slow without a battery. Wee. I have to go to the sea glide, right? Yeah, and then. Yep. Little checkaroo. Let's see. Yeah, 9 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I wish there was an easy way to turn on the flashlight with this thing and not have to, like, cycle through everything. Alright, 9 and 14, 15.
Passing 100 meters. Oxygen efficiency decreased.
17, 18. I need to look at where he actually goes in the end here. Or out there at all. 20. That's one I'd broken lost. Now let me skim through this real quick.
12.
Okay, so I'm at 920, right?
13, then here 14, 15, 16. Then you can get crashfish will not 17. I will make 2 and then 15, 16, 17. Okay. 18. Oops, that's a mesma, which is annoying, which is always there. 18, then we want to swim out of here to look if there's anything here. 18, 19, 20. You don't need to get 24 here. So 20, which is fine. Then we swim up. And then, again, here's the geyser. Here's the geyser. Then we want to swim in that direction. 20. You don't need to have 20 yet. It's totally fine. Then we swim here. Then is this there? Here's this pillar.
All right. Oh, son of a bitch. I gotta supersede. No. So we got here. Where the fuck do you go? I'm gonna say, I think it's this way. I'm almost certain it's this way. It is not this way. Can I look at the map? Is there a map for this part? No, there's not a map for this part. But I think this is like the last crafting section we have to do.
Then we swim up. And then, again, here's the geyser. Here's the geyser. Then we want to swim in that direction.
Okay,
20. You don't need to have 20 yet. It's totally fine. Then
here's the geyser and here's where it came up. Doesn't really help me in this situation. Is this where it came up? I don't even know. I legitimately don't know where I am now. Oh, I need to go back and find the geyser, I guess. I need to get food. Come here, you stupid little fish. They come up just like really far away. I don't know. That really just lasts the whole time, huh?
The fabricator cooks small organisms while disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption.
Oh, is that only 18? They have 9 and 18. Oh, okay. I thought it broke 20. Oh, we have 2 in here. I don't know if that... probably don't want to count it. So here's this, where you pop up.
yeah. And then, again, here's the geyser. Here's the geyser. Then we want to swim in.
Okay, so we swim this way.
Local radiation readings suggest the enormous drag core has reached critical state. Quantum detonation will occur within 2 hours.
Yeah, since he said he needs like the aurora to be in a good state, like I'm a little worried about that. Like I'm not gonna make it in time. 18, 19, 20. Got my copper. 21, 22. 23. 24. All right, now we just need 1 gold. Is that gold? Yeah. We go out and we find the wreckage. Okay. Jeez. Jeez.
That it belongs. 4. No gold. No gold.
See, the reason I think that's super annoying is if I'm like really into this, then I don't mind. I can learn it. I'll know where the spawns are. We'll be good. But like a lot of runs, what I'm probably going to have if I continue playing it. So I'll run it for a bit, kind of put it on the back burner and not touch it for a while and then come back to it. And I feel like if I leave it behind, I'm going to forget all of the spawn locations and the number of things I need. So I don't know if I can really have it be like a run on the back burner. Unless I really grind this to the point where it's just burnt into my memory, but I don't know if we'll really have time for that with all the new games coming out and potentially being runs. We'll see. Keep going for now.
Gold. So then we swim through here. If you don't have all the sandstone yet, then you exit this cave, swim to your left, and here is this wreck. This cave has some sandstone as well, but we are all good on sandstone. But if you need sandstone, you can gather sandstone here. So here is this wreck. Inside this wreck, you want to build a compartment. This will make the wreck disappear. I don't need another tooth. We have already teeth. Don't need 2 more teeth. So now I deconstructed this wreck here, and this wreck often has mobile vehicle bay fragments. So we want to scan those if there are any. If you're lucky, it has 3, but we were unlucky and we just got 1. So we got 1 earlier. Are you joking? How many teeth are there? 3 teeth now? God dang it. So we got 2 out of 3, so we just need to find 1 more mobile vehicle bay. They are in, looks like the same boxes as the Sea Glide, but they are larger. This is a Sea Glide box, which is small, and it can only be found in the kelp forest. Outside of the kelp forest, you won't find any. And this is a 3rd mobile vehicle bay fragment. And now we want to head back to base.
Okay. Yeah, I think I already got 2. Hey, brr, we're out of here. Okay. Oh, this is stressful. I haven't even learned the run and it stressed me out. Brr, brr. I don't know why I came in here. Brr, get out. Alright, save. Going again.
Also, again, make sure
We're kind of near the halfway point of the run. I get what? The tutorial for it, at least.
so not to drown.
So I think from here out, it's like not a lot of resource gathering. It's a lot of just like progressing the story and stuff. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong.
I will grab a bladderfish if I find one, because I'm very low on the water. Don't need that, but I need some water. So, once we are here, we're going to pick up that flare again, because I hate the light with a passion. So I'm just going to craft some water. So, now all which we had earlier is in this locker. So, we want to grab all of our copper. Yep. All but one of our table coral. And 4 gold. So we want to craft another fabricator here. And then I need another 4. So we need 4 copper for crafting. And we build a fabricator, second one. So we use 2 fabricators for crafting because that's faster. So first,
whoa, fast.
5 copper wire. Then we want to craft 4 computer chips, sorry. Then I put that in this locker here. Then I want to grab this.
Where'd all the copper wire go? What?
And
oh, you turn it into the computer chip,
silver.
right?
With the 8 silver, we craft 4 wiring kits. With 1 wiring kit, we craft a rebreather. Put 1 wiring kit in here. Take 2 computer chips and 2 wiring kits, and 4 gold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, make sure not to drown. And with that, we craft ourselves 2 advanced wiring kits. 1, 2. Put those in here. So now we want to deconstruct our base, because our base has a lot of titanium and glass, which we need. Only leave this portion here. Then we are going to put 1 glass in, take 3 teeth, take titanium. So we convert all of our metal salvage into titanium. Then we craft 3 enameled glass. Make sure to not craft a 4th enameled glass. Only 3 enameled glass. You need 1 glass later on. And then we want 3 titanium ingots. We can only craft 1.
Alright, let's do some of that crafting. Do I remember crafting? I just did. Alright. All but one of these. Never forgotten. Copper. Gold. We need to make another fabricator. How much is a fabricator? Okay. That scared the fuck out of me. One more. Alright, 4 computer chips. Yeah, 2 wiring kits, right? And advanced wiring kit? What I need? 2 more gold. Did I fuck up? I have that save.
Want to deconstruct it down to
Or I just not have enough gold.
So I'm just going to. So we want to grab all of our copper, but one of our table gold. Another fabric and the fabric. First thing we want to do is craft 5 copper wire.
Mm-hmm.
Then we want to craft 4 computer chips. Sorry. Then I put that in this locker here. Then I want to grab this.
I want the fiber mesh.
And 8 silver. With the 8 silver we craft 4 wiring kits. With 1 wiring kit we craft a rebreather. Put 1 wiring kit in here. Take 2 computer chips and 2 wiring kits. And 4 gold. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't count the gold properly.
And with that we craft ourselves 2 advanced wiring kits.
Yeah, I might have to go get some more gold then. Rebreather. I need a little bit more silver. I need 2. I think I only made 2 wiring kits, so let's make 2 more. Yeah, I think I just need gold to turn one of these into an advanced wiring kit. Okay, let me go, I guess, track down this thing. So I know where to find the stuff, I just gotta get back to that little cave. So I guess I need 4 more gold. Okay, so we go this way. So yeah, I thought I counted 24 and then found 1 more gold after that, but maybe I had stuff in the locker before 24. Okay, I'm not getting any gold. Fuck me. Let's go down in the cave. 2. 3.
'Congratulations, survivor. You have exceeded your weekly exercise quotient by 500%. Data indicates that swimming would...
So this is where I just don't know where all the spawn things are. I might need... Fuck me. I need 1 more gold, right? Yeah, and the last gold's just random anyways. Nope, not gold. Come on. No, not gold. Where is the gold? Tooth. Can't even find the limestone anymore. Oh, this is just depressing. Oh, I thought I'd actually count it properly. Damn. I gotta go back to the geyser, I guess. I guess I missed a whole bunch there. No. It's the second cave you're supposed to find. Just hoping I missed some in here. I didn't have to go all the way back. Nah. Damn. Dumb. I just need one thing of gold. Come on. Yeah, alright, now we can get out of here. Jeez. Wait, did I need all the gold? Maybe I just need 2 gold. I just need 2. I thought I needed 4 the whole time. Maybe. Possibly. Did I miscount the recount? Wiring kit, computer chip, wiring kit, computer chip. Alright, what does it do with the crafting then?
2. Put those in here. So now we want to deconstruct our base, because our base has a lot of titanium and glass, which we need.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Only leave this portion here. Then we are going to put 1 glass in, take 3 teeth, take titanium. So we convert all of our metal salvage into titanium. Then we craft 3 enameled glass. Make sure to not craft a 4th enameled glass. Only 3 enameled glass. You need 1 glass later on. And then we want 3 titanium ingots.
Okay. Well, let's just deal with that real quick.
A quantum detonation has occurred in the Aurora's drive core. The reactor will reach a supercritical state in T-10.
Yeah, that blowing up I feel like is really bad for me.
6,
So you said you needed it to be
3,
just fine, right? So I don't know. One that is really loud. God, please stop. I may not be able to finish this run, and I don't know. I don't know how how important it is. So need more titanium. So yeah, we just gotta go find some of that. We're gonna need a bladderfish. What's 10 ingots for a thing? I have 4. Okay. Just gonna go see if I can steal 2 metal scraps from over here. Like if the Aurora blowing up stops me from actually like finishing learning it, I don't know. Hope that's not the case. Hopefully it's not like ideal, but can still work around it. This would be cool. You guys chomping on metal over here? Oh, you are. I'm just blind.
life on this planet grows in unusually distinct and diverse.
Can I just like turn off like I mean one the voice for sure. The pop-up shit. Is that a thing you can do? Doesn't seem like it. I guess subtitles. You're not a bladderfish. Where's a bladderfish? There are no bladderfish around. Wow. Hello, Mr. Fish. Oh, there's one. All right. Back to the VOD. Crafted up the stuff.
We can only craft one. So again, they you get metal from the kelp forest, obviously. Often it is on the
Wish your friend's not
edge
food.
of this biome. I know that I put a lot.
I mean, you can just read survival
earlier, but
or
that it was
the freedom one, but you don't have to worry about it.
I haven't done that ever before. So 4, 8, 16, 20. One more, why not? Another contraband, wow. Again, this type of metal, which is the L shape, will never drop any teeth. That's why we always take it out of the equation. So we have 1 titanium ingot. We want 3.
So we already crafted up all the titanium ingots I need, so I don't have to really worry about
3
this.
titanium ingots. So now we take 1 titanium ingot, 1 lubricant, 2 batteries, and a silicone rubber. Yeah, I'm good. And then we want to make sure we use the batteries. So this one has 100%, so we put the with 100% normally in our sea cloud because that takes the most power, and then the other one, if that has more power, the other 100% battery normally we put into our habitat builder. But yeah, I now have the two batteries with the lowest battery percentage, and craft a power cell, and then a mobile vehicle bay.
Okay. So I know you use the mobile vehicle bay for like clipping and stuff. Rubber, this, batteries, which are both out, ingots. I'm about to fucking die. Ah! Okay.
Then I'm just going to clean this locker out. Put as much as possible into this locker. That's fine. Put this in here, this in here. Okay. So, for the next part, we need the Aurora to not be exploded. That
Well,
is
mine
very
already
important.
blew up, so
Also, we need a bunch of medkits.
so I might be fucked.
If you're good at this, you can do it with only 1 medkit or even without medkits. But I usually always take.
Let me see if this guy has anything about it. Yeah, I think it's just because of the radiation.
Take 1 medkit at least 1 medkit with me. So you craft medkits by crafting fiber mesh. 1 fiber mesh requires 2 creepvine seeds, creepvine samples. So
We might be fucked here. I don't know.
craft a lot of those fiber mesh. And then I craft some first aid kits.
See if it says if it's working, if you just need more medkits or something.
Activate Super Sea Glide in case you don't have it, and then we are going to the Aurora. So for this we need the Aurora to not be exploded, so I'm going to use commands to restore the Aurora. For this you just need to learn to be fast enough to to do this before the aurora explodes.
Well,
That's just a fact. There is nothing that can that I can do against that. So
I think we're kind of fucked
go
then.
to the rear thrust of the aurora. And
think we're
we
kinda
are basically
fucked.
just going to tank through this radiation. That's why we have a lot of medkits with us.
I don't know if it's because like the ship layout, like you need it to. You still get radiation, so maybe it's just like clipping into it.
The rear thrust of the aurora. Here is this.
Maybe it's like a clipping thing.
Whatever this formation. So
Yes,
here you
In the document, it said like the new patch, like yeah, this might just be like clipping in sort of thing. We might be able to do the current patch then. I don't know. I don't know.
sometimes can find bridge fragments, Cyclops bridge fragments, and Cyclops engine fragments. If you've come across those, always scan it. Very important. Especially bridge fragments. Bridge fragments are tedious sometimes. Even more engine fragments. I'm not going to scan it because this is a tutorial, but if you find those, always scan them. Very important. Then you want to swim through this small hole here. If the aurora explodes, this hole closes. So that's why it is important to do this before the aurora explodes. You might need to practice this part a lot because there are some kind of invisible walls here. And
Yeah, then I'm just
for
fucked.
this next part. So then you kind of swim right and make sure to be near the surface. Then you find this, and this box here above water is what we are looking for. So this now only works in September 2018 patch. If you are on current patch, I will show you the other way to do it in a bit. If you are on September 2018 patch, this is how you do it. So you swim towards this until these pipes render in. Then you line yourself up with the middle pipe and swim back until it just barely renders in. Then you look above you and make sure you're not below this this crease here. Make sure you are kind of in the center of this hallway, and then we just hold space and jump up and then we basically fly through the floor. This only works in the September 2018 patch, not in current patch. In current patch there is a different way to get in. Then we just walk to the right, to the left, and then here is the captain's quarters. We want to get in. The code for that is always 2679, never changes. Then we get in, get the data terminal, which is the rocket blueprints, and then we go and die in this fire.
Hell yeah.
So the way you enter the Aurora on current patch is, again, this part is the same.
Alright, so yeah, I can't even do this version. Alright, GG.
Again, swimming over there to the right. And now, instead of looking at the pipes,
That's the
here,
only way to do
we
it
want
before
look
it
at
blows
this
up,
corridor
then like...
here. This corridor right here.
I honestly don't know if I want to go back through the first collection part.
We want to jump up here.
And try to do it faster.
Probably not too much because it will take some full damage.
I was hoping I could like learn the entire run, and just be slow at it and be fine. But if you actively have to be so fast to pull off certain tricks, I don't know. It kind of turns me off, honestly. You don't really want to get turned off on Valentine's Day. It's no good. Let me see real quick. Let me see if anyone's asked about this before. If like there's some slower way potentially. Like I don't mind if I have to like run around and waste time. There's at least a way to continue. So I don't know if like don't know what like glitchless does here. I don't really want to learn glitchless, but I'm assuming, do they get over there that quick? Let me take a little peek-see. Oh, they just don't even go to Aurora until super late in the run. I see. Yeah, it's just completely routed differently, which makes perfect sense. Yeah, you go and get everything, then you go to the Aurora later. Yeah, this is the very end of the run. It's 52 minutes into a 56-minute run, so that's not gonna be a good backup solution. Well, I gotta be honest, I don't really want to do that first part over to learn the rest of the run. Yeah. I don't think there's any other way to continue this point. Other than just do everything over again. I think the Subnautica dream might just be a dream. I don't know if it's a run for me. That's what I'm getting at. Get some water real quick and just think about it. I hate to say it, but we might be switching to something else. Can you do the same while you practice? I could, but it's like going further than that. If any run I do is now like, I don't want to say you have to sweat to get it, because I'm sure you don't have to be that good to make it in time. But like if any run I do, most of these are gonna be like pretty casual runs. Has to be a certain amount of time to get here. Like that kind of makes it more of a serious attempt, where I can't really be relaxed and forgetting stuff and I don't know. So I could do it for now and just like learn everything, but you know, if I'm just trying to do a couple runs, yeah, I can't use console commands during a run. I don't want it to be like a resetting just to get a time, you know? Which is the shitty thing. And that first part really wasn't like that fun to do. Unless I just allow myself to use console commands during the run. Which I'm not totally against. But having to like count how many copper and how many rocks he's broken in the collection phase also just seems pretty awful. So I mentioned this when we were going through that part of if this is the only run I planned on doing for a while and like really grinding it, I'm not too opposed to doing any of this. But I know next week we're gonna have Atomic Heart coming out, so we're gonna take off time to play that. I still want to work on Dishonored and Amnesia. And like potentially we might be running Atomic Heart and other games coming out in March. So I'm not gonna have time to really like grind this. And if I go through the process of learning all this and then stepping away for a week, 2 weeks, how hard is it going to be to remember it? And it seems like it's going to be harder than I thought. So I knew the teeth thing was kind of a problem with RNG. I didn't know how much the collection phase was, I guess. Sadly, I think like once we get past this part's when the run actually looks like pretty cool, because it's like a lot of clipping and stuff. Let's do this. Let's watch Tomatoes speedrun explained on the rest of it. Just so in case you haven't seen a run before, we can see what the rest of it looks like.
Hey everyone, my name's Tomato Anus, also known as Don't Capitalize My Name, also known as Churro Pequeño, and this is an any % survival speedrun of Subnautica. This run is performed by Eclipsed, the current world record holder for this category, who also helped me write the script to make sure that I didn't done goof. If you'd prefer to watch either this run without commentary or Eclipse's current world record, they're both linked in the description. Additionally, this is an any % run, so glitches are allowed, but if you'd prefer to watch a glitchless run, I've linked the current glitchless record by Cinnamon Cookies in the description as well. If you've never played Subnautica before, it's an
I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna do it tonight. Maybe I'll do it offline. I might go and look at the glitchless category of this, because I do think the game's fun and stuff, but having that one time gate of getting to the Aurora kind of kills off any and all interest I have. So maybe glitchless might actually be interesting. I thought all the clips later on in the run were really, really cool, but maybe I'll take a look at that. I don't know.
open world survival action adventure game set on an ocean planet. We've crash landed on this planet, and the game's gameplay loop consists of collecting resources, interacting with wildlife, and building things like tools, bases, and submersibles, with our overall goal being to escape the planet. This run is done on the survival difficulty, which is the game's default mode where we have to manage health, hunger, thirst, and oxygen, and if we die, then we respawn, but with certain items removed from our inventory. In order to complete our overall goal of escaping the planet, we have a few things we need to accomplish, but they're sort of spoilers to just reveal right up front. This may seem antithetical to speedrun videos, but I like to try to avoid spoiling games unless it's absolutely necessary to understand what's happening. For these purposes, certain things on our to-do list this run are censored. When we get to the point where we talk about these items, I'll provide a spoiler warning for spoiler avoiders to mute the video for a bit so you can still enjoy the video without having the details of the plot spoiled. There will be visual gameplay spoilers throughout the run though, so you have been—
I mean, just looking at this, we literally got to like the halfway point. We did resource collection 1, dog teeth, and collection 2, and then this is where you go find like the enzyme and the gun and shit.
All being covered, let's get into the—
Hey Chicago guy, I'm home from my safari. You're home.
It's great stuff, but
more important for the game to be down patched, but it's not as important nowadays aside from 2 things being doable on this patch but not later ones. Secondly, the keybinds that Eclipse uses are a bit different than standard. Subnautica gives you the option to bind 2 keys to one action, so Eclipse plays with both the left mouse button and scrolling down bound to breaking rocks, and both the right mouse button and scrolling up bound to moving items in inventory and storage screens. This lets him do things like break rocks and pick up a ton of items quickly by scrolling to spam inputs, and also spam inputs to interact with multiple things in a single sweep of the camera. The last thing we need to go over before the run is resources and how they're dropped. In short, the speedrun of this game is a lot of resource collection and resource management. There's a total amount of each resource that we need to collect during the run, and we'll be keeping track of how much we have of each resource compared to how much we need. Throughout the run, Eclipse will be collecting resources—
see, I think a really valuable resource, or tool, I should say, if the community ever decide to have it, it's kind of like how randomizers have a tracker, like have a separate program that like literally has this screen here.
We have of each
and then just like automatically have the stuff counted up as you pick it up. It's kind of like a third-party thing to do, and a lot of communities don't like that, but I know at least like personally that'd be really nice to to have and not have to worry about literally keeping track of all of the stuff that you pick up
resource compared to how much we
along
need.
the way.
Throughout the run, Eclipse will be collecting resources, crafting things with them, and mentally keeping track of how many of each resource he's collected. Resources are either harvested from deposits of said resource, oftentimes using a tool to do so, or harvest—
Yeah, it's like I knew like you needed certain resources and whatnot, but like having to count like 24 limestones plus finding an extra gold while also looking for copper, which is on a different type of resource, and all that. Like, I'm not super against it, and it's like why I don't really want to take it super seriously. But I imagine if you are used to going through the caves and knowing where everything is, it's not too bad, and I could learn to kind of like it, but having that like on a timer essentially with the Aurora is what kills it for me.
From the planet's flora and fauna. Some resources, though, are available for collection from something called a harvesting node. Harvesting nodes are mineral deposits holding resources that can be broken by the player's hands rather than having to use a tool, and when broken, give you one of several items. The game determines what item to give you when you break a harvesting node by way of something called a resource bucket. Think of resource buckets as
exactly
what they sound like, a bucket that holds resources.
It's not really a run that it seems like you can just do here and there.
Resource bucket. And whenever you harvest a node, a resource is drawn from that node's bucket, and that resource is dropped for you. There's a few different kinds of resource buckets harvested in the run, one for every type of harvesting node that we break, and like I said a moment ago, the buckets have a chance to drop one of several resources. The easiest way to explain how it's chosen which resource is dropped is with an example, so let's use limestone outcrops first. The way limestone outcrops are set up is for every 2 harvested you get 1 titanium and 1 copper ore. The first time you harvest a limestone outcrop, you have a 50-50 chance of getting either titanium or copper ore, and whichever one you get, then the next limestone outcrop you harvest, you're guaranteed to get the other. This empties the limestone outcrop bucket, causing it to refill with a new titanium and copper ore. The next time you harvest a limestone outcrop then, it's a 50-50 chance of getting titanium or copper ore, with whatever is chosen then being removed from the bucket until the bucket is emptied and then refilled again. Limestone outcrops are the simple one, with it being just 1 copper ore and 1 titanium for every 2 pulls, but buckets like the sandstone outcrop are a bit more complicated. The sandstone outcrop bucket begins with 2 gold, 3 silver ore, and 3 lead starting in it, making for a total of 8 resources in the bucket. In your first 4 harvests of this bucket, you're guaranteed to get at least 1 silver ore, at least 1 lead, and exactly 1 gold. In the final 4 picks, you're then free to get any of the remaining resources in the bucket until the bucket is emptied, at which point it's refilled with the starting combination again. Alright, with that all being covered, we can get into the run. Eclipse begins by pressing and holding escape to get through the press any button prompt, and also skip the intro cutscene, with the run officially beginning on the first frame of gameplay. He then uses the scroll wheel to interact with the medical kit fabricator and exit the hatch in one smooth motion, giving us a first aid kit and putting us in the water. Our first immediate goal is to get at least 1 copper ore, 1 titanium, and 6 acid mushrooms.
I've said this before about Tomato's videos when he did the Bioshock stuff and just watching them in general. Makes great stuff. But just his voice alone makes it whenever he talks, it's just like I don't even pay attention to what he's saying, just the fact that he's speaking, and I like don't understand half of the stuff he said because I'm just like not paying attention. I have to like actively think about what he's saying.
Right away we grab some nearby metal salvage, which can be turned into 4 titanium, then go into a little cave area to grab acid mushrooms that always spawn here, and break a limestone which nets us a copper. Had the metal salvage not spawned where it did, then we'd have to break a second.
See, like that. This is what I want from a different, like a third-party software, literally keeping track for me. I'm just going to call up Tomato and see if he can track everything as I do every run ever. Every attempt I want him just to update how many things I've picked up along the way.
Limestone, which nets us a copper. Had the metal salvage not spawned where it did, then we'd have to break a second limestone to get the titanium we need, or if the limestone had dropped titanium, then we'd have to break a second limestone to get the copper. Back at our base, we make a battery using 2 acid mushrooms and a copper ore, then convert the metal salvage into 4 titanium. We then use the battery into titanium to make a scanner, and since we got the metal salvage and have 3 extra titanium, we use it to make a standard O2 tank. The standard O2 tank
I'm sure he'd be happy.
Supply from 45 to 75, but coming up is a stretch where Eclipse will use his oxygen to time out him dying at a specific point. Having the O2 tank equipped would screw up that timing, so we want to leave our life pod before the tank is finished being made on the fabricator, which you can see Eclipse doing here as soon as he selects to make the tank. There's a bit more going on than Eclipse just confirming to make the tank and then exiting though, and I mean, you all viewing at home aren't dumb. I know you noticed that he interacts with the life pod storage container before exiting. This is him setting up a glitch referred to as remote storage or ghost storage. For consistency's sake, in this video, we'll just call it ghost storage. So there's a minor delay between when you interact with the life pod storage container and when the inventory screen pops up. Exiting the life pod during this small window interrupts the animation of our inventory being pulled up, causing it to not open. What this does though is the next time that we manually pull up our inventory, we'll be able to remotely access the storage container, letting us deposit or take items from the container from anywhere. This glitch is used all throughout the run, but is something that you have to set up every time to perform. It's not something you set up once and then you're able to use all the time. Also, something worth noting real quick while we're paused is that typically in this game, the fabricator menu doesn't stay open while the fabricator is making something. Usually, the menu fades away and stays gone until whatever item being made is finished, at which point the menu reappears. By holding down the sprint key though, which by default is shift on the keyboard, the menu stays open for us to navigate while the fabricator is fabricating. So once we have ghost storage set up, we make our way to the next point of interest and we swim on the surface of the water since it's 33% faster than swimming underwater. Eclipse is heading to a giant coral tube that he spawned near, which, speaking of, when you start a new game, you spawn in a random spot inside of a spawning area in the center of the—
I mean, nowhere in the rules does it say you can't have someone next to you counting your supplies for you, right? Like, is that a co-op run at that point?
Map. Only about 15 to 20% of the potential spawn area is considered to be good,
like,
based on
that's what I need.
things on the map like the coral tube, and in this run we spawned in an area that's referred to as Clip A, which is Eclipse's favorite spawn area for reasons we'll cover later. So the coral tube is filled with quartz and limestone, and we need a bunch of those resources for the run, so we're going to collect all of it up until we hit 22 items. 22 is the exact number of items that will be able to fit in our storage container with some other items we're about to grab, so 22 is where we stop. Eclipse makes his way through the coral tube in kind of a spiral to cover as much ground as possible, and in this run he empties out the coral tube with item grab 21, but he knows there's a chance that outcrops spawn on the edge of the tube, which one did here to make for item 22. He had just enough oxygen to make it through the tube into the surface without running out, and after refreshing his oxygen, he dives back down into the kelp forest. This is the oxygen refill that we're going to let run out to time out a death. Here we pick up some metal salvage for a reason that will be more clear later. Just remember for now that we picked up some metal salvage in the kelp forest. After grabbing 2 creepvine seed clusters, Eclipse pulls up his PDA, which activates ghost storage, then deposits the 22 items we got from the coral tube along with the 2 seed clusters we just harvested. So our main mode of transportation in the run will be the Sea Glide, but we have to unlock the blueprints for it before we can craft it. To unlock the blueprints, we have to use our scanner to scan 2 Sea Glide fragments, which spawn somewhat commonly at this wreck just past the kelp forest. The blueprints don't always spawn in a convenient place, so finding them quickly is a pretty common reset point in speedruns. After scanning the fragments, we run out of oxygen and we have 8 seconds after running out before we die. When you die, you respawn in your last base, which in this case is the life pod, and you lose any items on you that you didn't have on you the last time you were in your base, save for 1 randomly chosen item and any key story items. After spawning, grabbing the O2 tank from earlier, converting the metal salvage into titanium, and grabbing a ton of items, Eclipse then proceeds to make a series of items which are a battery, copper wire, silicone rubber, 2 glass, lubricant, a survival knife, and the Sea Glide. He then dumps most of his items into storage to make space for new stuff, but keeps tools like the knife.
Also, yeah, if I was doing this like super casually, I would 100% have to have notes on what to craft every time. Like I'd remember somewhat where to go and what to pick up, but I want to remember having to craft all of those individual things.
Storage again as he exits the life pod. He'll then be on his way to make a resource
another
gathering loop
issue with it.
Quartz and limestone. Eclipse knows that throughout the run he needs to gather a total of 21 quartz and that so far he's gathered 9, so he needs to get 12 during this resource loop, and you can never really get too many limestone because of how much copper and titanium we need for the run. In addition to quartz and limestone, he just broke 3 sandstone during this loop, netting him 1 silver, 1 lead, and 1 gold. Outside the cave, he slashes 3 table coral with his knife, giving him 3 of the 13 he'll need for the run. He then grabs another metal salvage before swimming a short distance and diving down into a crevasse where he'll grab a handful more quartz and limestone. Down here in the crevasse, Eclipse will break 3 additional sandstone, which happen to net him 1 more of each of the potential drops. Just a reminder, sandstone can drop gold, lead, and silver and has a bucket size of 8. Since our first 6 drops from the sandstone bucket were 2 of each possible item, that means that the next 2 sandstone we break will give us 1 lead and 1 silver ore, and the bucket will then reset. Our inventory is getting pretty full at this point, so we activate ghost storage and dump as many resources as we can before putting our PDA away and grabbing any resources we come across on our way to exit the cave. Our oxygen supply is running pretty low, but we're close to the life pod and we're holding a ton of resources that we just harvested that we don't want to lose and can't fit into storage, so rather than letting our oxygen run out to spawn back at the life pod, we simply just head back home. Back inside, Eclipse will make a battery, copper wire, a computer chip, a wiring kit, and put it all together to make a habitat builder, which is one of the last tools we need in the run. It pretty much just lets us build new bases. He'll then turn the metal salvage he grabbed into titanium. Before he exits the life pod with a ghost storage setup, Eclipse makes sure all his glass is in storage and also picks up as much quartz and titanium as he can while also making sure he has a bit of copper too. When he's outside the life pod, he starts making his way to a specific location where he's going to build a base. Depending on where you spawn in the speedrun, there are different locations where you want to build your base, all with the goal of minimizing travel time later in the run. When Eclipse goes to place the base, he'll race to place his face in the space between 2 shiitakes. Fuck, that didn't rhyme like I thought it would. So once he's in position to place the base, Eclipse will aim up and slightly above this coral shell plate right here. This lines up his camera so that when he goes to construct an eye compartment, it'll be placed in the perfect position, slightly clipping into the shell plate. The eye compartment only requires 2 titanium to make, which he has on him, so it's fully constructed pretty quickly. Once it's fully constructed, then the coral shell plate that the compartment was clipping into gets deleted. This is actually the purpose of the setup, to make sure the base was placed in the correct spot so the shell plate is deleted. If the shell plate wasn't deleted, then there's a chance it would cause an unwanted glitch where the right resources don't drop when we go to collect some table coral in a bit. Eclipse will follow up the eye compartment by building a hatch on the end, which requires just a quartz and 2 titanium to make, which again, he has on him, so the hatch is completed pretty quickly. He follows this up by attempting to construct an eyeglass compartment perpendicular to the hatch. Having the compartment
Yeah, I was gonna say when we were doing like all the building and stuff, I thought the record did something completely different in terms of building. So I don't know if like that's just been a new discovery since the tutorial, which was June 2021. And like I don't know how much better it is.
Is skipped whenever we leave the base, saving almost a second each time. This compartment requires 2 glass to construct, but we don't have 2 glass on us because if you remember what I said 91 seconds ago, Eclipse makes sure all his glass is in storage. Don't forget I said this. It's very important. If you forget, then you smell like eggs and toads and closet meatloaf and... Eclipse not having the glass on him to construct this glass compartment is intentional though, because the compartment doesn't actually need to be fully constructed for the exit animation to be skipped. It just needs to be placed for construction. Coupling this with the fact that we need to save that glass for later, it just makes sense to deposit the glass like we did so that it isn't used up here, since the compartment can just sit at 0% completed and the exit animation will be skipped regardless. After he places the compartment, Eclipse places 2 solar panels on top of the base and makes a mental note that he fully constructed the one closer to the hatch last. This will be important later. In the base, he'll then build a fabricator and use it to make more glass and build a couple lockers while the fabricator fabricates. We haven't gotten all of the quartz we need so far, so we're short on the total amount of glass we need for the run, but that's okay for now. Later in the run, we're going to be making a ton of items, so Eclipse puts another fabricator on the wall now, which he'll fully construct later when he has the materials for it. That way he can akimbo fabricators when he goes to make everything. After depositing everything into a locker safe for his tools and 2 copper, he heads back outside and under the base to chop some acid mushrooms. Chopping them causes them to kinda explode, which kills us and damages our base, causing it to flood. Because this is the most recent base we've been to, that means it's where we respawn, and we actually spawn inside the base while it's flooding. This makes the game think we're both swimming and walking at the same time and causes their movement speed to add on to one another, making us move roughly 3 times as fast when using the Sea Glide. This is a glitch called Super Sea Glide, and without it, this run would probably be around 15 minutes longer. Super Sea Glide isn't permanent, and you can lose it in a few ways. 2 notable ones are that you lose it if you break the water surface or if you enter a base that isn't flooded. If you enter a flooded base though, you're fine, you don't lose it. If you do lose it though, which will happen a couple times in the run, then you can get it back super easily by going into a flooded base, deconstructing the hatch, and then reconstructing it real quick. With Super Sea Glide set up, Eclipse heads outside to collect some table coral since he needs 10 more for crafting purposes. These 3 here were destroyed when the acid mushroom blew up. After grabbing the final 2 table coral, he heads down into a cave to grab a ton of resources, including 4 acid mushrooms to round out all of the mushrooms needed for the run. Harvesting this cave is unique to runs where you spawn in the area referred to as Clip A, whereas if you spawn in the area called Clip C, you harvest a different cave that has 3 fewer sandstones. The 3 extra sandstone you get with the Clip A spawn is the reason why Eclipse prefers Clip A runs to Clip C runs, since the 3 extra sandstone give him a chance to get his 3rd gold of the run early, meaning that he can finish making his 2nd fabricator early, which greatly speeds up the fabrication process. After making batteries with both fabricators, followed by a glass in one, Eclipse dumps everything he has other than tools into a locker and heads to the
So like the different, because it's mentioned here as well, having like the different starts and having like different potential routes at the start, the way I was hoping I could do it is just like learn one clip and just take the extra time between the different places. If it so I'd always go at the spot of Clip A, wherever that was. And even if I spawned in the wrong location, still just use that, and just, you know, eat the extra travel time because I didn't really care about it. But if you have to be so fast to get to the roar before it blows up, then that kind of goes out the window as well, which is another like pain point for it all.
For what Eclipse calls the biggest pain and suffering that this game has to offer: stalker teeth. So in Subnautica, there's 4 different visual variants of metal salvage that can spawn. They're all metal salvage, like they do the same thing. They appear in your inventory the same way and as the same type of item. They all serve as simply metal salvage in recipes and stuff, but they have different visual appearances for the sake of more visual variety. Whenever metal salvage spawns, it has a chance to be any one of these 4 varieties. Of these 4 versions of metal salvage, 3 are considered to be good metal salvage, while 1 is considered to be bad. brief tangent, there's a fauna species called stalkers that spawn in the kelp forest.
Oh, it's cute.
The speedrun community for this game refers to them as dogs for the sake of simplicity, so we'll call them dogs as well because I want to fit in with the cool kids. Dogs can pick up some items if they're laying on the ground, with there being a chance of them dropping a tooth if the item they pick up is metal salvage. There's only a 25% chance of them dropping a tooth whenever they pick up metal salvage, but there's actually more to it than that. This is where the differentiation between good and bad metal salvage comes in. The 25% chance to drop a tooth only applies when a dog picks up good metal salvage. It's a 0% chance they drop a tooth when they pick up bad salvage, which is actually a bug that's sometimes referred to as bugged metal. Earlier in the run, I mentioned that Eclipse picked up some metal salvage in the kelp forest and to remember it for later, and the reason why he went out of his way to do that was because the metal salvage she picked up then was bad salvage. Eclipse wanted to grab it then so that when he comes to the kelp forest now to try and get teeth from the dogs will only grab the good salvage that he drops and not any bad salvage that may have spawned in the area. So that's what this upcoming part is. Eclipse will drop the 2 good salvages that he grabbed since leaving the base and leave the 1 bad salvage in his inventory. Also, something to note, good salvage and bad salvage look the same in your inventory, but they're stored in the order they're picked up, so that's how Eclipse knows which is which when he goes to drop them. Getting dogs to drop teeth isn't as simple as just dropping the metal and letting the dogs do their thing though. Dogs don't pick up salvage for the sake of picking up salvage. They have a mechanic called nests, which are invisible points where they'll bring the metal salvage back to. Once the dogs bring the salvage back to their nest and the salvage is in the nest, then the dog won't pick it up again since it's where they want the salvage to be. This means that our job is to constantly be moving the metal salvage out of their nest so that the dogs will grab the metal again and have a chance of dropping a tooth. Nests are easily identified by just seeing where the dogs bring the metal. Something that can happen that we get in this run is something called a best dog. Best dogs are dogs whose nest point is above the seafloor, meaning that when they bring the salvage to their nest and drop it, the salvage falls back to the seafloor because gravity, surprisingly, is a thing that exists. The best dogs then pretty much just go into a loop of swimming up and down to pick up and drop the salvage, turning them into teeth farming machines. Another thing that can happen is that when a dog goes to pick up some metal from the ground, their mouth clips into the ground since they have these big old things for mouths.
Yeah, he does a really good job with
mouth is clipping into the ground,
like making
falls under the map into the void, lost to us
animations.
forever. The last thing that's worth mentioning going into the
ways to explain,
varying amount of dogs can spawn
tricky things to explain just in general.
Forest. The most common number of dogs to spawn here is 2 or 3, but it's possible for none to spawn and also possible for more than 3 to spawn, although that happening is pretty unlikely in any given run. Obviously, more dogs is better since that makes for higher chances of a tooth being dropped, but if none spawn, then we have to swim around to a different area in the kelp forest to look for some. Back to the run, after he drops the good salvage, Eclipse looks around a bit to see if any teeth have dropped and notices there are a couple cargo boxes nearby with fragments in them. When scanning the first one, he does the knife swinging animation and swaps to his scanner just to get the fun janky arm animation that doesn't do anything in this category other than entertain. These boxes have a small chance of spawning here and contain fragments for the mobile vehicle bay, which we need 3 fragments of for the blueprint. After grabbing 2 teeth into titanium, Eclipse heads to the second box and scans that one real quick too. He then slices a creepvine to get 2 creepvine samples and loots 3 creepvine seed clusters from the same plant. Eclipse is then going to chill for a bit, waiting for the final 2 teeth to drop, and after that he'll grab the metal salvage he dropped and head back to the flooded base. One of the dogs will be carrying a salvage when Eclipse goes to collect them though, so he'll have to slice that dog to make it say, "Ow, why the fuck did you do that?" which causes it to open its mouth and drop the salvage. In the meantime, while this all unfolds, I'd just like to say I hope you're all doing well. If not, then I'd just like to remind you all, as always, that no feeling is final. I understand how at times it can feel like your life is controlled solely by thoughts of dread and despair, but I promise you, those feelings are not permanent. They do not define you, and they do not define the rest of your life. If things are difficult, then please take a step back and remind yourself that there is a tomorrow and you will be here for it. Back to the run, we're now at the base and beginning to dual wield our fabricators by using them to make a fiber mesh and convert all our metal salvage to titanium. After turning 1 creepvine cluster into silicone rubber and the other into lubricant, we unequip our standard.
Yeah, he does that in all his videos. Or at least all the ones I've seen. I'm pretty sure he uses the exact same like dialogue too, like the same script for it.
Into an ingot, and again, it's
he doesn't like really. He memes a lot in his videos and like does clever little jokes here and there. But he doesn't really do that for that message, which is nice.
That we're menuing and moving items so quickly thanks to the fact that the right mouse button is bound to scrolling up. Eclipse will then perform a
Like, you could definitely make it feel like, oh, you're underwater, stuff like that. You're in the deep darks, all that stuff, but just keeps it nice and simple, wholesome.
glitch called flare storage, where he'll click to throw a flare and click to open a locker immediately afterwards and exit the base as the flare is finished being thrown. This does pretty much the exact same thing as ghost storage and operates under the same principles. It's just we needed the flare to set it up since there isn't a delay with the lockers in this base like there is with the storage container in the life pod. After setting up flare storage, Eclipse is now heading to a cave/geyser area where he'll do a bit more resource gathering. The top area here is filled with 8 guaranteed sandstone along with a few non-guaranteed limestone. Normally during the run, Eclipse mentally keeps track of where he's at in the sandstone bucket, which in this case he started at 4 of 8, but because there's always 8 sandstone that spawn here, he knows that he'll be at 4 of 8 again once he grabs them all. Once he clears out this area, he's going to dive down deeper out of the area of guaranteed sandstone and into the area of advanced darkness, random sandstone. Eclipse is looking in every nook and cranny for any sandstone he can find with the goal of completing this sandstone bucket, followed by completing 2 more full buckets, which adds up to 24 total sandstone on the tracker. Ignore the bucket number not resetting when it passes 8 for a bit. While down in these caves, we take pretty much a straight path through as we search for the sandstone. The spawn locations for harvesting nodes like sandstone are actually always the same, it's just a matter of whether or not they do spawn, so Eclipse knows exactly where to look for the sandstone. Something worth noting are 2 benefits that Super Sea Glide provides to us down here. One is that the squishy from Finding Nemo looking things called drooping stingers don't deal damage to us, and the other is that an aggressive fauna called crashfish don't detect us. The reason for these are a bit complicated, so I've summarized them at the bottom of the description if you'd like to learn more. So when he exits the cave, Eclipse heads to the surface to refresh his O2, and after activating flare storage to dump everything save 2 titaniums in our tools, we dive back down to collect some more sandstone and also look for some more metal salvage. So the reason why we're keeping track of how many sandstone we have with the goal of getting to 24 is that having 24 on the counter right now means we'll have just completed our 5th bucket and be just 1 gold away from the amount we need for the run. When the count reaches 24, Eclipse keeps searching for sandstone until he gets a gold, which is guaranteed to be in the first 4 of the new bucket, but thankfully in this run he got it on the 2nd. Down here in the dark is a giant chunk of the original ship we were on that crashed, and by building a compartment that clips into the shipwreck gets deleted, letting us scan the fragment for the mobile vehicle bay that luckily spawned inside. This means we've now scanned all 3 fragments to unlock the blueprint for the MVB, since we scanned 2 earlier in the kelp forest. After grabbing another metal salvage, we're now on our way back to our base, which, speaking of, it's pretty dark in the game right now, but the kind of ghost compartment that isn't constructed serves as a nice indicator in the distance if we need any help finding our way. This trip to the base is when we're going to be making most of our items for the rest of the run. This will be pretty hard to follow with a lot happening super fast, but here's a quick summary. Eclipse turns our metal salvage into titanium, along with turning 10 titanium into an ingot. We'll then make 5 copper wires, 4 of which will go into 4 computer chips. We'll then make 4 wiring kits, with 2 of them going into advanced wiring kits and 1 going into a rebreather. Eclipse is also going to make a power cell, and something worth noting is that the power cell requires 2 batteries in the recipe, and our Sea Glide has a battery in it that's been drained a bit from all our use. It isn't required for the batteries that go into the power cell to be full charge, so Eclipse swaps the partially drained battery out of the Sea Glide for a fresh one and uses the drained one in making the power cell. Sorry, I know this is a lot to keep track of, but this is a lot of what this run is, resource collection and management. Eclipse actually considers all this crafting to be one of the more difficult parts of the run because of all the work that goes into inventory management and getting good at doing it quickly. On his way out, Eclipse begins fabricating the mobile vehicle bay and deposited everything save tools, lubricant, and table coral, marking the end of the resource gathering and heavy crafting stages of the run. We're now on our way to the main wreckage of the Aurora, the ship that we were on that crashed on the planet, and heading there this early in the game is ill-advised since the Aurora is just spewing radiation into the ocean as if it were owned by BP. On his way there, Eclipse will grab a metal salvage and scan a fragment of the engine of something called the Cyclops. The Cyclops is a giant submarine that we have to build for the sole purpose of being able to use a unique fabricator inside the Cyclops to build a required item, and that fabricator is the only place you can do that. The Cyclops is split into 3 parts, the engine, the bridge, and the hull, with each section requiring 3 fragments to get the blueprint for. Engine and bridge fragments can be found randomly around the Aurora, so health permitting, you should scan one if you see one, but we'll mainly be getting the fragments in another place later. After scanning the fragment, Eclipse will swim into a gap in the Aurora's model to go inside of the ship, which isn't intended, but like the gap is there and you can enter it. Normally you have to play the game for almost an hour until you're able to enter the Aurora, but this expedites the process a bit. After swimming in the dark for a bit, which by the way, a lot of this run is done in the dark, Eclipse will look up in a specific spot, hold space, and jump straight through the floor to enter the Aurora proper. This glitch is actually one of the 2 reasons why he plays on the September 2018 patch, since jumping through the floor was patched out. Inside, he enters the code to open the captain's quarters, which is a code that doesn't change across playthroughs, then jumps in some fire and electricity to lower his health a little as the door opens, grabs a blueprint inside, and hops back in the fire and electricity to die and spawn back at his base. Back at the base, Eclipse will pick up the mobile vehicle bay from the fabricator along with a bunch of other items from storage. He'll then make a titanium ingot, drop off the MVB in a locker, and make sure he has 2 quartz, 2 lead, 5 titanium, 2 ingots, a lubricant, and a table coral in his inventory before setting up flare storage and leaving the base. So when he leaves the base, Eclipse will partially deconstruct one of the solar panels to just under 20%, netting him a handful of resources from it which he needs for where he's going. Earlier I mentioned that Eclipse made a mental note about which solar panel he constructed second, and it's for this exact moment. The way solar panels work in this game is they generate power during the day, and then that power is stored in it like a battery with a max capacity of 75 power. Anytime something is made in the base, it costs 5 power, and power is drawn from the solar panel.
Yo, Sunky, what's up?
Multiple solar panels, the game prioritizes drawing power from the one you built first. Through all the crafting we've done so far, we've entirely drained the first solar panel we built and drained the second one down to 14 power, which is all the power we have left at the moment. Solar panels only generate energy when they're fully constructed, but if the solar panel has power stored when it's partially deconstructed, that power
Good old Tomato Angus
is
voice.
accessible. It's just that more won't be generated until construction is complete. We're about to go off and do some tasks that will take some time, and while we do them, enough time will pass for it to become day again and the solar panels to begin soaking up charge again. We obviously want to maximize the amount of power we have later in the run, but realistically we're able to get by with one solar panel soaking up energy at this point. We still want to get as much power as possible though, even with just one soaking up the sun, which is why we make sure that we leave the fully drained solar panel constructed so that we can potentially end up with 89 power total instead of 75 if we left the other one constructed. After the solar panels, Eclipse begins making his way across the map and is going to harvest a hoverfish and some eye stalk seeds, then make his way towards an island with a mountain on it. It's around now, we should probably talk spoilers real quick, so if you don't want to hear them, mute the video until this image of a submarine goes away. 3, 2, and 1.
Nice looking submarine.
The reason why we crash landed here was because the Aurora was shot down by a giant gun. This whole planet is under quarantine because of a disease here, and some past civilization on this planet decided the best way to make sure the disease never spread anywhere else was to build a giant gun that shoots down anything entering or exiting the planet. Our end goal for the run is to build a rocket and leave, with the rocket blueprints being what we got from the captain's quarters in the Aurora, but before we can do that, we have to both disable the gun and find a cure for the disease. On our to-do list, disabling the gun is the line with the gun emoji, finding the cure is the line with the test tube, and leaving the planet is the one that says, escape the planet. So yeah, that's what those mean. So right now, we're on our way to do the tasks that involve the woman making the X-arms and the detective, and in a second, Eclipse will pick up a tablet, which is a storyline item, and the first time you pick up a tablet, there's an animation where you hold it up to your face. We're going to do something called fish skip though, where we'll hold the fish in our hand and then in rapid succession, drop the fish, swap to our sea glide, and interact with the tablet. This skips the tablet animation and saves around 2 seconds or so and can be done with any fish. Also, Eclipse grabbed a hoverfish earlier just because it was nearby, and they're also his favorite fish in the game. We're now going to do a bit more resource collection, looking specifically for lithium, which we have none of, and more gold, since those two, along with titanium, are the main resources we haven't finished collecting yet. In this area, lithium spawns straight up similar to quartz, and there's another resource bucket here, which is the shale outcrop. Shale buckets are a bit more complicated than the 2 buckets we've covered so far, with the bucket size being 200. Yes, that is correct, 200. Rather than a detailed breakdown of how this bucket works, here's the distribution for the drops. Before continuing with his resource collection quest, Eclipse stops to make a quick base in a specific spot using the resources he brought with him from the last base, and also starts construction of an extra compartment to eat up a titanium to free up inventory space. So something about the Sea Glide is that it can slightly clip out of bounds, and here Eclipse uses that to his advantage to be able to interact with and grab another purple tablet that's sitting out of bounds here for some reason. Using the Sea Glide to slightly poke our head out of bounds will happen again later in the run. We're about to break open a few more shale and get all the gold we need, and after that, Eclipse is solely going to pick up lithium on its own rather than using shale to try and get it to avoid filling our inventory with useless diamond. Take that, De Beers. So we're now approaching a crash area that contains some fragments, and right here Eclipse scans our second engine fragment for the Cyclops. In the crash area proper, the main thing he's looking for is another engine fragment since those spawn here, as well as fragments for the moon pool. The moon pool is kinda like a dock and charging station that we can build, but we won't be using it for those purposes in this run. Instead, we'll be using it for other things. Glitches. We'll be using the moon pool for glitches. After scanning the 2 moon pool fragments and the final Cyclops engine fragment, we're off again to scavenge lithium. This whole stretch of the run is actually really tight on timing as our oxygen is running pretty low, but luckily Eclipse watched that one David Blaine TED Talk when learning the run, so he was able to hold his breath long enough to do it all. And also he's good at the game and is able to do it all quickly enough to not run out of breath, that too, but mainly the TED Talk thing. Like when Eclipse and I had our call to go over the run, he talked about that TED Talk for like 4.5 hours and then pulled up the video of the speedrun, set the playback speed to double, and blasted through the rest of the info. So as soon as Eclipse saw the color of the water on the horizon have a hint of pink indicating him entering a different biome, he activated flare storage and deposited everything other than his tools, the stuff he had when he left the base, one of the tablets and one of the golds that he picked up, and also used the moment to grab the mobile vehicle bay from storage. He then sliced a bulbush and tree mushroom for samples and will now go out of bounds for the first time by performing an MVB clip where he wedges himself in this overhang, aims at a specific spot, deploys the MVB, and climbs on it as it jiggles and bounces around, putting him out of bounds. After grabbing the MVB for future use, we dive straight down with the reason for going out of bounds being to have a more direct path to the Lost River biome. If we hadn't gone out of bounds, then we'd have to go through a bunch of winding caves to get here, and that sounds exhausting. Fuck that. Getting back in bounds is super simple with us just needing to swim straight through the one-way collision of the rocks, and once we do that, Eclipse will slice a ghostweed to get a seed. He'll then dive down into the nearby brine to both intentionally lower his health to about 60% and also see if any crystalline sulfur spawns since we need some, but unfortunately none did. He then waves hello to Casper, a leviathan that's above us, before he dives down again to enter a new biome, the inactive lava zone. Down here, Eclipse is going to be swimming around and scanning all the rock surfaces to look specifically for nickel ore, which looks kinda like a tiny potato. We only need to get 3 of them, but they are pretty sparse down here, which isn't super ideal since we constantly take little ticks of damage due to how hot the water is. Nickel is both super hard to spot and very easy to mistake for other objects, so it's just a perfect mess for the fact we're in a place that damages us just for being here. Eclipse spots a nickel from afar here, and with that single action, he made me consider calling my eye doctor about scheduling an exam. Luckily, the second nickel is nearby, but the third one is a bit farther and requires additional scanning of the area and venturing down a shelf. Once he finds the third nickel, Eclipse begins heading across the area, being sure to wave hello to Kevin in the process. Kevin is a sea dragon leviathan, and he doesn't bother us in this run, but from what I'm told, he has a big appetite for runners of the glitchless category. Also, I'm just being told these names for the leviathans, I'm not making them up. When we enter this cave base,
sure.
Eclipse immediately grabs a couple kyanite along with a crystal and sulfur, both of which we need 4 of. There's some additional kyanite to the left we just skipped, and we did so because we're really low on oxygen and need to get to a specific point quickly, so we're only grabbing stuff that's on the way. When he enters this big area, Eclipse swims up to and into the
Where do you make the moon pool, right?
here, giving him a quick burst of oxygen, but also removing super sea glide since he left the water momentarily. This is where we build our moon pool, which we'll enter real quick to set our spawn to, and it'll begin to flood on its own since it automatically takes structural damage when built at depths of over 1100 meters. Eclipse is now running through this alien base where he leaps to a lower floor as a shortcut and also to take intentional damage to lower his health as much as possible. Down here, he picks up this green ion cube and then uses the tablet in his inventory to open the force field looking gate. In here, he does some fancy little hops to quickly reach a terminal that he'll interact with to retrieve a blueprint and then hop off the walkway to take enough fall damage to kill himself, causing him to respawn back in the moon pool. Unlike with our other base that requires us to deconstruct and reconstruct a hatch to reobtain Super Sea Glide, all you have to do with the moon pool is spawn in a flooded one to get Super Sea Glide, so after doing that, we enter the water and deconstruct the moon pool for the resources. Eclipse is going to perform another MVB clip in a specific spot, and the exact place where he does this clip is dependent on where we originally spawned and built our main base, which again, in this run is referred to as Clip A. If we had spawned in the other area that's good for high-level runs that's referred to as Clip C, we would be performing this clip in a different different spot for reasons that will be apparent in a moment. So Subnautica, like many games, renders things that are close to you but not far away. There is an exception to this though. MVBs while they're in the water, they always stay rendered in. The MVB has inflatables on it, so it wants to float to the surface. So by leaving the MVB where we perform the clip and then swimming away to do other stuff, the terrain above the MVB will unload from us moving away from it, and the MVB will float all the way to the surface. The incredible thing about this exact spot where we are is that pretty much exactly above us, all the way at the top, is the main base that we built. Like seriously, it's straight above us and the MVB will float all the way up to it. This is why if we had spawned in the Clip C area, we would do this clip somewhere else, because Clip C spawn runs have us building our first base in a different location. Also addressing the elephant in the room, yes, there was a Clip B at one point, but it was so bad that no one does runs with it anymore.
Damn.
Symptoms may be partly alleviated by adopting a pet or anthropomorphizing an inanimate object.
Now that he's out of bounds, Eclipse is heading down and looking specifically for his 2 other crystalline sulfur, since this is the place to get it. You can pick up the sulfur while you're out of bounds, but you have to be careful to not get too close to the sulfur and accidentally clip back inbounds. After he grabs the last sulfur in a moment, he'll then dive down deeper on his way to the main alien base we're going to. On our way down, we get a weird transmission thing from a Leviathan who wants to help us complete one of our main tasks, the one with the detective emoji. After the scene from the found footage movie ends and we get back in bounds, we're going to slash a sea crown to get a seed of it, as well as grab another ion cube that's down here. So normally when you enter this area for the first time, there's a big cutscene animation thing that plays out, but because we entered this area via out of bounds, we skip the trigger for it and it doesn't play, and the Leviathan that sent the transmission to us stays in a power pose the whole time. After activating the first pedestal with an ion cube, Eclipse then uses the sea glide to poke his head out of bounds into some sand to interact with the second pedestal. Normally the Leviathan blows the sand away for us, but she's busy right now. After the animation plays out, we teleport back to a set location, which is actually right next to the small makeshift base we made recently. There, Eclipse will deconstruct the partially built compartment to get the titanium back, then build a fabricator inside the actual base. He'll then use all the seeds and samples he's collected from plants to make an object called hatching enzymes that he just got the recipe for from activating the portal with the ion cube. He'll then deconstruct the fabricator he just built along with the hatch to get back the resources from them, but doing this with the hatch also makes this base not a complete one, so the next time we die, we'll spawn back at the
More into you.
And yeah, that's right. The whole purpose of this base and collecting all those samples was to make one item. Eclipse then opens his PDA right before entering the portal, letting him menu while in the teleporting cutscene that brings us back down to the pedestal Leviathan area. In the menu, he unequips his O2 tank and drops his quartz and table coral since he no longer needs them. When the teleportation finishes, he swims forward and interacts with the pedestal ahead to use the hatching enzymes, which causes a bunch of baby Leviathans to hatch. In a move antithetical to the tone of this channel, we actually won't be watching the miracle of life, choosing to instead immediately turn around and get our booties back to the teleporter to head back to the surface. When we finish teleporting back to the makeshift how the baby Leviathans will have beaten us up.
Not as well as I hoped.
Begun to spawn these orangish yellowish enzyme bubbles around the map periodically. Eclipse then does something called Cure Clip, where he pushes a bubble up against the rock wall, positions himself to be above and slightly behind it while facing away from the wall, then interacts with the bubble, which forces him to be eye level with it and puts him out of bounds. Interacting with the enzyme bubble plays out an animation where it gets absorbed into us, which crosses off one of the items on our checklist. Now that
Subnautica runs are not looking as hot as I'd hoped, really.
Platform, QEP for short, and you'll notice our O2 is getting low. This is intentional and part of an upcoming glitch called QEP Quick Death, which Eclipse considers to be the hardest glitch in the run. So like I said a few moments ago, Eclipse unequipped his O2 tank, and him doing that is considered to be the beginning of the QEP Quick Death process. His O2 level hits 0 here, so Eclipse re-equips his O2 tank. This brings his O2 level back up to 84, but all this air is in the tank, and if the tank is unequipped again, he'll go back down to 0. Eclipse will then swim up to a pedestal that he needs to interact with to disable the QEP and complete a task on our to-do list. Before interacting with the pedestal though, Eclipse is going to pull up his PDA. The moment after he clicks to pull it up, he has a small window where he's able to interact with the pedestal, which he'll do. This causes the animation of interacting with the pedestal to play out while he has his PDA out, waving all about for the world to see, with the PDA actually still being interactable. At the end of the interaction animation, a grinding noise will play which indicates the storyline being updated based on what we just did. Our goal with this glitch is to interact with our waving about PDA to unequip our O2 tank and time it in a way where we die right after the storyline updates, which warps us back to our life pod and skips a ton of swimming. To do this, Eclipse will position his cursor in a very specific spot right after initiating the animation, then grab the O2 tank off its equipped location in the PDA and move his cursor to an exact spot while holding onto the O2 tank. Eclipse will hold the tank in that spot and wait for the animation to play out, and at a specific point, his cursor in the tank will be directly over his inventory, at which point he'll let go of the tank to take it off. Technically, he can just click on the O2 tank initially to unequip it, but if he did that, then the tank would be unequipped too soon and he'd die before the storyline gets updated. Unequipping the tank at the right time causes us to die right after the storyline updates, respawning us back in our life pod and overall saving somewhere between 10 and 20 seconds. Alright, let's see this all in real time.
Scans indicate the facility's control room lies beyond this doorway. Oxygen.
Because we die with our PDA open, that means it'll still be open when we spawn back in, so when we do, Eclipse menus in the darkness to re-equip the O2 tank before setting off back towards our main base. When we get there, we'll get to work immediately by grabbing supplies from our lockers, including the other purple tablet, and also turn 3 glass and 3 stalker teeth into 3 enameled glass. Those will be going into making the Cyclops. Before he leaves, Eclipse is going to deconstruct and reconstruct the hatch real quick to regain Super Sea Glide, and then set up flare storage as he heads out. Outside the base, Eclipse begins looking around for an extra metal salvage to grab for the titanium it provides, as well as a peeper to grab to perform another fish skip with. Peepers can be hard to wrap your hands around. Trust me, I've handled my fair share of peepers in my life, but once he finally gets a hold of one, Eclipse begins making a straight line towards the sparse reef biome. It takes a hot second to swim there, so don't mind me just fast forwarding a little bit here. When he arrives, Eclipse grabs a salt deposit, 2 gel sacks, and 2 rubies. Once we collect all of those, we'll head up and over to another little cave system where there's a cache located. Eclipse is going to interact with the pedestal outside of the cache to use up his last purple tablet, which opens up the vault for us. Inside are a handful of ion cubes, which we'll grab 4 of to complete our ion cube collection for the run. We then work our way out of these caves, taking a left, then a right, then a left, which leads us to a big wreck on the ocean floor. Eclipse is going to build a compartment clipping into the wreck to despawn it like we did with the wreck earlier, and luckily at this wreck we can find all the remaining fragments we need for the Cyclops. Additionally, the blueprint for the one item that we specifically need to make inside of the Cyclops is located here as well. We need to interact with the data box to get it, and we perform fish skip when doing so by dropping our peeper, but this time swapping to our scanner instead of the Sea Glide, then interacting with the data box. This lets us scan a nearby fragment while inspecting the blueprint we just got, which is for the Cyclops shield generator. After doing this and scanning 2 whole fragments, we then look around for our last fragment, which is for the bridge of the Cyclops, which we find down on the ground next to the wreck. After scanning it, we'll then head into a nearby cave where we'll grab 3 deep shrooms. Grabbing the shrooms will be immediately followed by us activating flare storage to deposit any new items we've picked up so that they aren't lost when we die in a moment. We then proceed to knife the mushrooms to get them to explode in our face, killing us and warping us back to our base. When he spawns, Eclipse will right away grab the metal salvage from storage and make it into titanium, then pick up the blinding flare so he doesn't have to look at it. Him making this titanium marks the end of our titanium and resource collection for the run. He then picks up glass, copper wire, and computer chips from storage while dropping off everything he doesn't need. We then head outside and begin constructing a new base that we make sure is far enough away from the other one we just exited so that the new one doesn't snap into place on the first base's construction grid. This is to set up what's probably the weirdest glitch in this run, the item dupe. After making 2 eye compartments near each other, Eclipse then partially constructs a window on the higher up eye compartment. For some reason, the game thinks that this window is built on the lower eye compartment, so Eclipse is able to fully deconstruct the compartment that the window is on, causing the partially constructed window to just float there. Eclipse will then build an L compartment in the location of the compartment he deconstructed, followed by completing construction of the window. The game doesn't like this very much since windows are not supposed to be placeable on L compartments, and it makes the game think that we're building two bases whenever we finish constructing an object. By this I mean that whenever construction is completed on something on this base's construction grid, two of the constructed objects are built in the same place instead of one, with resources only being expended for the completion of one. In order to build the Cyclops and everything else to end the run, we need 9 titanium ingots, which is a lot of titanium to go out and collect, so instead, Eclipse will build 1 moon pool. Moon pools require 2 ingots to build, and since we just set up the item dupe glitch, then after expending 2 ingots to build a moon pool, there will be 2 fully constructed moon pools in place. Eclipse will then fully deconstruct one of the 2 moon pools, giving him back all the resources that went into it, including 2 titanium ingots. He'll then quickly partially deconstruct the moon pool and reconstruct it, with the completion of construction producing 2 moon pools in place again. Eclipse will then fully deconstruct the second moon pool to get 2 more titanium ingots, bringing him up to 4 total. Eclipse repeats the process of deconstructing and reconstructing the moon pool to dupe it, and deconstructing the duped moon pool until he has 8 ingots, at which point he then partially deconstructs the original moon pool until it gives him back an ingot, bringing him to 9 ingots total, which is exactly how many he needs. After clearing up some inventory space, he then grabs the mobile vehicle bay dead in front of him that's finally made its way all the way up to the surface. He redeploys it in a specific spot where there's sufficient depth to build the big structure we need to make to finish the run, which is the Neptune launch platform. After placing the launch pad's location, we head back to the base and grab a ton of lithium from storage and use them with our titanium ingots to make 6 plasteel ingots. While in here, Eclipse has to deconstruct and reconstruct the hatch to regain Super Sea Glide since he lost it when he climbed the MVB to make the launch platform. Once he heads outside the base in a moment, he's going to pick up the mobile vehicle bay to adjust its position slightly since he wants to make the Cyclops...
And play Returnal? I don't know. I know this is coming to PC, but...
construction for the gantry of the rocket. That's the big over.
I don't have any current plans to play it.
Dolphin diving onto the launch platform loses his Super Sea Glide again, and it's pretty annoying and slow to repeatedly lose it during this segment. This is
looks like a cool game.
His MVB in this exact spot and begins construction of the Cyclops overhead before heading back to the base to grab and make more items. It'll be clear why this helps not lose Super Sea Glide in a moment. On the list for things to do in the base right now are to reacquire Super Sea Glide by doing the hatch thing, and also to make and grab the final plasteel ingot, another enameled glass, as well as using some rubies to make aerogel and ion cubes to make ion batteries. By the time we head back out of the base, the Cyclops will have completed construction, causing it to hang suspended in the air until we swim close enough, at which point it'll drop from the sky. With where Eclipse positioned it, it lands partially on the platform, tilting half of it underwater. This way we no longer lose Super Sea Glide when going to make rocket sections. The Cyclops landing on the platform and tilting it down into the water is actually the second reason why we play on the September 2018 patch, since on some later patches it doesn't lower the platform like this. We're now on our base one final time to craft some ion power cells and polyaniline, and after beginning...
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
Outside and sit alongside the base since you can actually grab items from outside.
What day does it actually come out? Oh, it comes out today? Tomorrow? Oh. Is it on Game Pass? So I'm not going to buy it full price, is the thing. I might get around to it at some point. It's possible.
We're then going to initiate the penultimate construction on the...
It might be a game I wait until like the end of the year when it's on like a good sale and there's not like a lot of games out. Because we got a lot of games coming up that I want to play. We have Atomic Heart next week, which might end up being a speedrun. And in March has like a ton of games coming out as well. So, potentially.
Platform, then rather than enter the Cyclops the normal way, Eclipse clips his head into the side of the sub and interacts with the ladder from there to get inside. This is called text clip and it saves no time. Eclipse just likes doing it for fun. Inside the Cyclops, we steal a power cell and then combine it with an advanced wiring kit and the polyaniline to create the Cyclops shield generator. That one damned item we need that if we didn't need to make the Cyclops to get, it'd save like 10 minutes overall. Outside, we just need to wait around to begin the final construction on the rocket. Eclipse will then go in back of the rocket and ride the elevator up, and while he does, it's important to note that he made sure he still has his 2 flares for this part. There's 3 levers inside the rocket that need to be pulled, but they all have animations to them, but by doing the same thing as flare storage where he goes to throw the flare, then interacts with the lever, the animation for each of them is skipped. It looks like he has 3 flares at this part, but he only has 2 and is able to pick them up practically as soon as he throws them by just scrolling. After climbing this ladder, there's 2 more consoles we need to interact with, but unfortunately you can't flare skip them, so we just have to do them normally. Eclipse will then interact with the time capsule and write a little message for the viewers at home and dump all his junk into the capsule for fun. This isn't something you normally do in the run, but Eclipse decided to do it for the special occasion. While Eclipse does this monitor and then types out the message, real quick before the run ends, thank you so much to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. Your support is so entirely unnecessary, but it is so appreciated and helps keep the channel afloat. If you'd like to throw in as little as $1 a month to help with the channel,
and
you get access to videos early, as well as updates on videos as they're being made, and also occasional bonus content like Fanfiction Fridays or voting on runs to be covered in future videos. This Subnautica run was actually chosen and voted for by the patrons, so shout out to them for the awesome choice. Again, supporting the channel monetarily is entirely unnecessary, but it helps a ton and is greatly appreciated. So after typing out the message, Eclipse will then sit down in Kirk's chair to initiate the rocket's launch, with the run officially ending on the launch of the rocket. Because we beat the game so quickly, the game has a huge backlog of dialogue that it needs to get through that it spams out at us that would have been doled out over the next hour of playtime or so. But yeah, that about wraps up the run.
Oh yeah. So what I realized, because I'd watched the record for this game a while ago before I even decided to say I wanted to try to learn it. And it looked fun. I just kind of, I guess I've forgotten exactly how much inventory management there was and less like running around and doing the clips. It doesn't look like the back half is any less stressful than the first half that I did learn. So, overall, I think we may not finish learning this run proper. Because if I'm time gated on the first part and having to keep track of all that, and then basically having to keep track of all the extra stuff afterwards, getting all the additional resources, the lithium, the shoal diamonds, and the stuff down below. I don't know if it's necessarily the run for me at the moment. I don't think it's a bad run. I think I could learn it and do it and be just fine. It's a time commitment thing. It's kind of like learning Mirror's Edge. Like, if you're not all in on learning Mirror's Edge, you're going to have a very tough time with that game. I mean, that one's more about movement than it is inventory management, but because it's not really a run that you can take at a semi-casual level of just doing it here or there. Or if you do, it's it's going to be like a 4-hour run. It's not quite gonna fit my schedule. And just as we were talking about with like playing Returnal or something, there's a lot of games coming out soon that I want to both play casually, like Atomic Heart next week, and potentially look into speedruns for, to where I'm not really gonna focus super heavy on this. I was just hoping I could pick this up and kind of do it every now and then. Like we burnt through Amnesia Machine for Pigs way sooner than I wanted to. I like to have a collection of, like, at the moment, I'd like to have like 4 or 5 runs that I want to work on. So it's like, yeah, I'd spend 3 hours doing Dishonored, and if I either rage quit and I don't feel like running it anymore in that stream, or I get a PB, I can switch to something else, which we've been doing with Dishonored and like Amnesia. But now everything's kind of getting better and better and getting through them faster than I expected. And just have some more variety. I was hoping this would fit there, and that doesn't seem like Subnautica will fit as one of those. So it may come back around at some point when I have more time. If I'd learned this sometime last year, it probably would have made more sense when no games were coming out at all. And we just had to fill some time. But as sad as it is to say, I think my dreams of running this game may have drowned. I couldn't think of a clever pun. Which that's pretty sad. I was hoping I could at least like do a run and get through it, but especially with if it wasn't really for the Aurora blowing up and becoming like you have to get through the first part of the run so fast. I'd at least give it like a full proper try. And see if I could, you know, maybe the resource management's more tolerable than I really was thinking. Like I could write out some notes like, oh, okay, I need to make sure I have 8 copper, blah, blah, blah. And just doing it a couple times, I'm sure it like wouldn't be too bad, but yeah, the Aurora blowing up so far into the run, having to like be, I don't know how long it takes for it to blow up, like 3 days or whatever it is. That really just kind of kills it for me, more or less. So, it's also kind of my plan for tomorrow's stream as well. So I think we'll call it there because I need to go back to the drawing board. I need to think about some things, some scheduling, to see what we're gonna do. You know, that's how some runs go. If you're ever getting into speedruns, like you might like, oh, Subnautica is my favorite game of all time. It's what I want to run. And you go to run it and you're like, wow, this run's not for me. You don't want to just struggle through it. You know, gave it a good solid try. Sometimes you live and learn. So I will be back tomorrow with something, probably Dishonored. We'll probably do some more Dishonored for a sub 35. Maybe some Amnesia. We might just keep grinding those until next week. Except Atomic Heart comes out next Tuesday. Which, can't say I'll run it, but, you know, a new FPS game. It's got a good chance of being a cool run, so that might be the next one to pick up. It is what it is. Let's see. Let's see if there's anyone to host. I may just call it though. If you're looking for more stuff to watch, some more speedruns, my YouTube does have my recent PBs of Dishonored, Amnesia Dark Descent, Amnesia Justine, Machine for Pigs if you go a little bit back. All good stuff if you're looking for some more speedrun content tonight. Yeah, Professor, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Yeah. I'm not gonna notice somebody. I'm just gonna go back to the drawing board. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of think through some things. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out Subnautica with me. Sorry if you're disappointed in me not continuing the run, but maybe some other time. Maybe if like no games come out in the middle of the year, the end of the year, and I'm looking for something to scratch that itch, we might revisit it, but not likely.